Tonight's episode of the Tuesday Night Cigar Club is brought to you by Drew Estate. Come experience the rebirth of cigars at www.drewestate.com and download the free Drew Diplomat smartphone app today to discover nearby retailers, RSVP to special events, redeem points to win exclusive Drew Estate merchandise, and much, much more.
Mistake, but I'm having too much fun to wait. Flag her down when she comes back by. That one's yours and this one's mine. Bring another round. 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 Bring another round.
Here's the suckers.
Good evening, brothers and sisters of the Leaf. Coming to you live once again from, well, all over the fucking place. It's the Tuesday Night Cigar Club. Tonight the boys congregate via live video. Thanks, coronavirus, you giant asshole. To talk their way through the Eric Estrada starring 1990 action-packed epic Guns, while experiencing the heavy firepower of the Triqui Traca cigar from Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, paired with enough craft beers to kill a man. But not these men. Oh no. Their livers are bulletproof, ladies and gentlemen. At least for another 2 weeks. So sit back, folks, light 'em up, and enjoy the show.
You know, boys, tonight's film got me thinking.
Oh, yeah?
You know, when I start thinking, good shit happens.
Things happen.
Things happen, yeah. It always leads to things. Tonight's movie, and then one earlier, they both involved really kick-ass secret agents that belong to agencies that use acronyms.
Yeah, yeah.
We did The Girl from Bikini,
Yes.
B period, I period, K period, I period, N period, I period.
Yeah.
That stood for the Bureau of International Knowledge, Intelligence, and Non-Standard Investigations.
All right. Yeah.
If you remember
an acronym right there.
If you remember, the non-standard investigations where the chick blew everybody, like to get answers for their mysteries. And then tonight, the ladies, they're called the Lethal Ladies, L period, E period, T period, H period, A period, L period. And that stands for the Legion to Ensure Total Harmony and Law.
Total Harmony.
Lethal.
All right.
So we've talked in the past about changing the name of the podcast.
Okay.
We can't do a lot of advertising and promotion because we have the word cigar in our name.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've kicked around some ideas. Nobody likes my ideas. You guys don't come up with any ideas. So we've been stuck with Tuesday Night Cigar Club, but I'm like, you know what? I looked at Bikini, I looked at Lethal. I like the way that looks with the period,
The periods?
the periods in there. And it's like,
Okay.
so I was like, let me just start brainstorming this and see, maybe this is a spark that could bring us our new name finally.
Okay.
So listen to this. I try to incorporate what we're known for, what's unique about us. And I came up with a few. If one is fire, I'll stop. If you guys are like, that's it, then boom, I'm moving on, and that's our new name.
Okay.
Get it.
Number one, the Silly, Hilarious, Absurdly Ridiculous Team Podcast. We're silly, we're hilarious, we can tend to be absurd and ridiculous, but we're a team.
Short podcast?
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
dig it. Team. Hey, who doesn't like a team? But as an acronym, that's not really good.
Well, I should say I kind of threw these together. I didn't actually look to see what the acronyms spelled. If anything, I guess that's probably important. What did that spell, Yanks?
Shit. It spelled shit.
Silly, hilarious, absurdly ridiculous team. Oh, that's shart. That's when
Shart.
that's when you fart and some shit comes out. Okay. That one's not good. Okay.
Yeah, sharp pod. No, I don't.
I
think so.
should. Okay. Well, you live, you learn.
But we could have T-shirts that say "I sharted."
Yeah. Every Tuesday night, I'm sharting.
I'm gonna put that in a maybe pile.
Okay. Well, listen, this next one's a little deeper, a little headier, but it focuses on our bond as friends in these stressful times of 2020.
Liking this.
The quarantine unrest, but enjoying every friendship podcast. That's positive. It's addressing that there's big things going on in the world, but we're enjoying each other every other Tuesday night.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put that in the negative pile.
Why is that?
That spells queef as an acronym.
Queef, the Queef podcast. Yeah, that wouldn't be.
That's not.
Okay.
That's
Chud, are you maybe on that? Or are you gonna?
I don't want to design that shirt.
Okay. All right. Obviously, I misjudged here by not looking at what the acronym. I got one more. Because we're considered small time compared to some other cigar media juggernauts, but we like being small time. We like being who we are. I came up with this. Micro, because we are small time. The Micro Party for Everyone, not including Suckers podcast. Yeah, it's a micro party. We're smaller. Everyone's included, except for Suckers. Does that one work for you guys?
No, it doesn't.
What is that one? What's wrong with that one?
That's micro penis.
That would be the Micro Penis podcast.
Micro penis podcast. I'm fairly certain there's one out there already for that. It's not anything to do with cigars.
Tut, would you want to design that shirt?
I'm not saying that I wasn't hired by the Micro Penis podcast to design a shirt for that. But
Oh, okay.
I tried to, but they threw the design away. They said it was too small.
Look, I'm just gonna say it is a tremendous amount of work preparing for these shows, and I thought I was okay. Well, you know what? I misspoke. I got one more, and that's what are the odds of those three? Okay, last one. I think this sums us up simply, short, sweet. What do you guys think of this one? Because people come to us to laugh, because people come to us for 2-3 hours to be entertained. I just want to put that out there in the title.
In your face.
Right, this one's right in your face, Tut. The Hilarious Offerings Many Others Seek podcast. It tells you that people are coming to find us. It lets people know we're popular. They're coming to us for the chuckles. Yaks, you on board with that one? We got a winner.
No.
The Hilarious Offerings Many Others Seek podcast. What's wrong with that one?
Because that as an acronym spells homos. I think subconsciously we're
H-O-M.
the one prior to that was micro penis and now homos.
You know what? As I write these out with the periods in them, you're right, Yags. That does spell homos.
I'm just gonna have to say no to everything.
Which one you were on the fence with Shart, Tut?
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not. Now that I know what it so these are all bad. These are all
Okay.
We'll just stick with TNCC for now. Hey, that's an acronym. That stands for something.
It does.
It does.
That stands for the Tuesday Night Cigar Club.
Yes, it does.
So we'll roll with that for a little while. I haven't given up on this new name thing, but and you guys are definitely not down for the Micro Penis podcast?
No.
Okay. I could make it shorter. You guys could be in and out of this thing in like a half hour. I swear, everyone's a critic nowadays. Everyone's a critic. Well, tonight, so help me God, we're going to be the critics. We're going to criticize shit tonight, and God help anybody who gets in our way.
I can stand behind that.
Welcome, everybody, to the welcome, everybody, to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club, episode 127.
Woohoo! 127. Pew, 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 pew,
127.
pew.
Thank you for joining us. Tut, you look sharp as hell with your bolo tie and your country blazer.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Convinced that's the only reason you selected tonight's movie. We'll get to that later.
Ah.
I took a risk, Yaks, letting this guy pick the movie. I took a risk.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Did it pan out? You're just going to have to stick around to see, folks. Because as you know, we are silly, we're hilarious, we're absurdly ridiculous, and we're a team. But that spells shart, so we won't.
We're the Shart Podcast.
Before we begin, enough joking. I want to talk about something serious. Straighten up, boys. Wipe those smiles off your face. Operation Cigars for Warriors. Any of you who've ever watched our videos, our opening credits on the episodes, are going to our webpage. You will see the logo for Cigars for Warriors. It is our chosen charity that we like to support above all others because it is very entwined with the cigar culture, as are we. And our buddy Storm, who founded and runs Cigars for Warriors, put out a press release earlier this week that said Cigars for Warriors is conducting a fundraising drive between November 11th, which is today when we're recording this, Veterans Day, and December 1st, which is Giving Tuesday. The charity suffered from a dramatic drop in donations, both in cigars and operating funds, due to canceled events and shop closures, mainly driven by COVID-19 shutting everything down. These guys would go all over the country. Volunteers would go to cigar shops, hold events, get donations, both money to pay for the postage to ship cigars overseas. People would buy one stick for themselves and drop another one in the donation box. When we go to the Drew Estate barn smokers around the country, at the end of every barn smoker, all the raffle money that everyone, thousands and thousands of dollars that people would put into raffle tickets to win really cool prizes. Drew Estate would match that, sometimes exceed that, be well beyond the match. And we saw big Prices Right checks for 15 plus grand at these events.
That's pretty cool.
Going to Cigars for Warriors, which they desperately need. As a 501c3 nonprofit organization, CFW relies 100% on raffle ticket sales, cigar donations, cash donations, and grants to operate. Donation centers, event coordinators, volunteer supporters, everyone, including you, our audience, I'm asking you to share this information with their networks and encourage everyone to directly donate to Cigars for Warriors through their website. Or this is where I'm going to sacrifice something from the TNCC to help the greater good. If you would, for the next 2 months, we can't do that. Usually when you buy from Amazon, as I know all of you do, you go to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club homepage, click the Amazon banner, and then shop that way, and we get a little something to keep the lights on. Well, I'm asking you for the rest of the year, because they are a 501c3 charity, you can actually go on Amazon and select under charities. It's called Amazon Smiles program. Select Cigars for Warriors. And from that point on, everything you order that's eligible, Cigars for Warriors will get a donation from that. So if you're a lazy asshole like me who orders paper towels and like every day I'm ordering just random shit from Amazon, everything I order, a little chunk of that goes to Cigars for Warriors. So it would really make some soldiers that are out there kicking ass and putting their lives on the line so that we can get drunk every other Tuesday and smoke cigars. It's the least you can do if you enjoy living in a free America, is to show these boys some love. Donate some money via Amazon. If you are a cigar smoker, go into your shop. If it's a Cigars for Warriors donation center, drop off some cigars, put $20 in the thing. Every little bit helps. But that Amazon thing is so easy. You just set it up once and
Yeah.
you're all set. So don't support Tuesday Night Cigar Club the rest of the year. Support Cigars for Warriors. When it comes to Amazon, keep listening to us. But
yeah, there's other ways to support us. Listening to us is cool.
Yeah.
Telling us how great we are. That supports us.
It's a great organization. We wouldn't talk about them as frequently as we do and stand up for them if Storm wasn't just the best of the best. I've been friends with the guy for
that's a good message.
A decade now. So do something. You'll feel good about it. Support Cigars for Warriors any way you can. And what I'm going to do is, from the Tuesday Night Cigar Club, a little special something for the boys and gals overseas. We got in the mail last week, I believe, a little gift from one of our great sponsors, J.C. Newman. And J.C. Newman Cigar Company. We featured the Culebra. It's the snake cigar that the 3 cigars that are braided. We featured this on an episode not too long ago as our follow-up cigar, and we all couldn't believe how, for such a weird shape cigar.
Yeah, the Maduro that I had was very legit. I loved it.
They smoked awesome. And there's 3 different blends in here, and they're all coiled around each other. It's just a really cool thing. And I was like, they were like, you know what? We've got some extra, and we're sending to you. You can use them for giveaways, smoke them yourself, whatever you want to do with them. We're sending them. So I got 3 boxes of these Culebras, and I was like, you know what? It's Veterans Day, and I know they get a ton of cigars over there, but I don't know that they get a ton of kind of unique presentations. And Culebra is one of the weirdest, oddest presentation cigars come in. So I'm actually
I also think it kind of fits because someone can pass the other 2 cigars out to 2 of his buddies.
And the whole concept,
that's what you do in the unit.
The whole concept of the Culebra is to share it with 2 friends. It's a cigar made to be unwrapped and shared amongst friends. So, the brotherhood or their sisters are around the campfire, wherever they may be. They can uncoil some of these, and they look ridiculous when you're smoking, so they can take some great pics of them with their crooked cigars. Like we said, they smoke great. We couldn't believe how good they smoke. So I got 3 of these boxes. I'm going to be going down to my local Cigars for Warriors donation center, I think Friday, and going to drop these in a $20 bill in the tiller, and it makes you feel good, you know?
Yeah. I think that's the perfect thing to do with those.
That's not what you said before the show. You said that you wanted them. And
don't out me.
Oh, well, we can edit that out. I'm sorry. No, he never said that. Just teasing. So if by some chance
I might have thought it.
by some chance there's some gunnery sergeants over there listening to Tuesday Night Cigar Club, and they happen to get these, send us some pics of you in your tank smoking these crooked cigars, and that'd be the coolest thing ever.
I will have I cannot remember the dude's name on Facebook now, but he always sends great pics from downrange of the people smoking Cigars for Warrior stuff. I'm gonna be looking for that stuff because we're the only ones who sent it.
Yeah, and they're gonna be like, thanks, Cigar Coop. I'm like, oh.
Damn it.
He's like our Newman. Coop. Coop actually said some really nice things about us recently. I like Coop. Okay.
Yeah, too. I put a billboard outside of his house.
Oh, was that you?
What?
How much did that cost us?
What cost what?
You know what, folks? Scrap that. If you could continue to buy things on Amazon under the TNCC banner, the troops will be just fine. Let them fend for themselves. Their Cigar Dojo's problem now. That's another cigar media entity. Like I said, we are micro. Those boys are macro. They're macro penises, damn it. Wait, that didn't come out right. Where was I? Where am I? What's going on here? Okay, so we talked about Cigars for Warriors. We have one last piece of business before we get into what we do, which I'm going to let Yak Boy tell you about after this. We do it very well, and we've been doing it for 6 years, maybe. But as we often, actually, we went through a long stretch where we didn't have to fill the boot for anybody, like months.
Yeah.
This is our third show in a row. Fill the boot, and I bet you boys didn't see this one coming, did you? When I texted you.
No, I did not.
So 2 shows ago, it was Eddie Van Halen. That was a unanimous one.
Yeah.
Last show was Sean Connery. I got outvoted. I thought because he physically abused his first wife, he shouldn't get in, but these guys were okay with it.
Suck it, Cade.
Well, tonight I texted the boys a kind of a curveball for the boot yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
And it may have been a curveball, but you guys both responded pretty quickly that you were on board with it. So here's why I did what I did tonight. Oh, and I guess I should tell the newcomers to the show very briefly. Whenever a cultural icon or someone who meant a lot to us, whether it be music, television, film, someone who the weight of their career really is going to stay with us and has been with us for the majority of our lives. We want to pay them a little bit of tribute. So we fill up the boot of remembrance. We've been doing this for 6 years now, I guess. And by filling the boot in their honor, it traps their souls, which have been floating around in some form of purgatory up until then. And by me chugging the beer, it releases their soul into the cosmos, heaven, Eddie Van Halen, Sean Connery, I don't know. But wherever they're intended to go, we don't have any say in that. They go where they go, but they can't get there until I chug the fucking boot. And tonight, I'm going to chug this fucking boot for 2 gentlemen who you most likely won't recognize their names, but they are most deserving of this honor nonetheless. I want to take a few minutes to give a brief but very well-deserved shout out to the co-creators of Scooby-Doo, Ken Spears and Joe Ruby. Spears passed away Monday at the age of 82, and his animation partner, Joe Ruby, died just 3 months earlier at the age of 87. How cool and weird is that?
Yeah.
Within 3 months, these old guys that worked together their whole lives. Do you think we're going to die around the same time?
I hope not.
I don't know. You might say it's a mystery.
It might be a mystery. I hope not. I hope I outlive you guys by a lot of years.
I hope you do too.
Oh, you just had to say that so you look like the better man.
No, I really want you to live until you're 117.
Well, thanks. I wouldn't put any money on that.
Oh, I'm not.
Well, these talented mofos created Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Back in 1969. 69. I had that worked into another podcast name, but I picked up on that one. Like, oh, that won't be good. With both of my young daughters, it is the one and only pop culture entity from my childhood that we've all been able to enjoy together. Star Wars, nope. Smurfs, nuh-uh. Spider-Man, nope. I've tried and failed to get my girls interested in any of these classic franchises that I loved when I was a kid, but it took 0 efforts to get them on board and enjoy Scooby-Doo in all its shapes and forms. There's been so many different renditions just on the animated side. There's been feature films. There's been a brand new kind of fancy animated film. They love it all, and I do too. Even the more geared for teens and adult children like myself, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, which is on Netflix now. I highly encourage you to check it out. It's episodic. Like, they tell a story over 3 seasons. It's not like wrapped up at the end. They have the, you know,
cool.
They have the ghoul every episode, but it's all leading up to a really big mystery.
Yeah.
At
That's cool.
it's really cool. And they also reference a ton of like classic horror films during it. So like The Fog and Romero flicks, and it's very much geared towards, like I said, grown children like myself. But the kids still love it. Still got the core Scooby-Doo stuff.
Yeah.
And naturally, when we watched Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, 1998's Scooby, it was a Scooby directed DVD film. The villain was Adrian Barbeau. So I'm watching with the kids, and I hear that voice. Oh, do you want a Scooby snack, baby? And I'm just like, yeah. And like, and my daughters are like, what the hell's wrong with this idiot? They did not share my enthusiasm or giddy schoolboy, whatever the hell that was. But there's still time for them to learn about Adrian Barbeau. We'll get there.
Everybody needs to learn about Adrian Barbeau.
In due time, my friend, in due time. Scooby-Doo is a franchise that has always been able to stay fresh, funny, and viable over the years. Whether you're a 4-year-old girl or a man approaching his mid-30s, such as myself. Spears and Ruby's production company also produced, get this, Thundar the Barbarian,
Yes.
the Plastic Man comedy and adventure show.
Love that one.
Those two were big time favorites of mine. And they also produced Mr. T, Rambo, and Chuck Norris's Karate Commandos cartoons.
Saw that.
Just awesomeness.
So to me personally, filling the boot of remembrance to these old bastards and honor them tonight was a no-brainer.
Absolutely.
And I know what you're thinking, sadly, I did hours of research, and I've concluded that Ken Spears is not adult film star Randy Spears' father, grandfather, or even his uncle. And considering his recent death, I don't think they appreciate me calling and asking so many questions about Randy Spears. They seem kind of put off by it, but hey, I'm Cigar Media. I got a job to do here. We can't have everything work out the way we want to. Wouldn't it be cool if the creator of Scooby-Doo was porn star Randy Spears' grandpa?
Pulls off the mask. You're Randy Spears' grandpa.
Randy Spears. Yeah, and I would have got that money shot if it weren't for you meddling kids.
My childhood.
So, boys, I will let you talk. If you have anything you'd like to say about Scooby-Doo or these great men who brought us so many great cartoons. I imagine, Yax, you were the biggest animation cartoon lover I've ever met in my life. I imagine
I've got one question, and this, take a second to think about it.
Velma.
What of the original team-up shows back in the 70s, in the 80s, which one was your favorite?
Oh, that's an unfair question.
The original what? I'm sorry?
The team-up shows.
Oh, like Harlem Globetrotters?
Yes.
I love Batman and Robin from Super Friends when they teamed up with Scooby.
Oh, man, yeah.
But this is, man, the Globetrotters were great. But you know what? Jonathan Winters was so good. And I was a big Jonathan Winters comedy fan. I'm going to go Jonathan Winters. I think that's the one that's kind of the most like, why would you put this old ass comedian with Scooby-Doo? Like, what kids are going to be sitting at home yeah, Jonathan Winters. Was that the right answer yet?
Well, no, that's your answer. I was curious.
What's your answer?
I was, for whatever reason, I don't know. Everybody always thinks of the Globetrotters or Batman, but I'm going to sit here and go, for whatever reason, whenever this episode comes on, I stop and I just become engrossed in it. The episode with Mama Cass and the Candy Factory. I don't know why.
That is an odd one.
Slimy, taffy.
That is an odd one.
And I'm like,
do you think they asked her like, what do you want us to draw you doing with Scooby and the gang? And she's like, maybe we could be at a deli or something. And they're like, well, that's not fun for kids. How about a candy factory? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dude,
no, why can't she been, investigating,
some sort of music thing?
I don't know, but he's just like, Put her in a candy factory.
Tut. Maybe her episode could have been, centered around music. No. Candy. Well, they weren't so sensitive to those things, I don't think, back in those days. She should have been. If I were her, I'd be like, "Are you kidding
What the
me?
hell, guys? Come on."
Look, this is turning around to where I'm like questioning some of these Joe Ruby and Spears. That was a good one. Yours was Batman, I'm assuming.
No, actually, man, I know the musician in me should be and it made me think of him, so I've been listening to him all day. The late great Jerry Reed.
Yeah.
He did a deal on there. Man, it's hard to argue against the Jonathan Winters one. But then you also another one. I even like the Sonny and Cher one, even though I'm not a big Sonny and Cher.
I want to say Phyllis.
fan.
I want to say Phyllis,
but that was a good one.
Yeah.
Phyllis was on there. Man, it's tough. It's either going to be the Addams Family or Don Knotts. I like Don Knotts. Oh, and who's the other? Crap. He was also on the Carol Burnett show. I can see his bald head. Tim
Conway.
Tim Conway was on there. That was pretty cool. I'm going to go with Don Knotts. I really like that one.
I'm ashamed to say I don't think I've seen that one. I'm gonna have to go seek it out.
Those are all good. I mean, like like I said, everyone always like from those they tend to think of the Globetrotters. They tend to think of Batman, but like you just said, it's winners for me.
Villains.
Awesome.
Okay. Well,
who's your favorite villain?
Oh, jeez. I like the one where at the end, you kind of thought you knew who it was, but then
no. But I mean, just like not whoever the person was. I didn't care once. I didn't care once it was old man whatever. But I mean, just the creature, the ghost, or whatever.
Oh, see, I'm a hardcore guy. I was gonna give you. It was Mr. Whitaker. He ran the old Rundown amusement park. That was my favorite villain. I don't even remember his costume because that character was so real and so hardened. And when he looked into those kids' eyes, you could tell that if they hadn't stopped him, he would have just killed a gazillion people.
Who did Mr. Whitaker play?
I just talking shit. There's no Mr. Whitaker.
Oh, okay.
For me, huh?
Wasn't that the android at the amusement park?
For me, I
thought so.
Yeah.
For me, there was never. It wasn't about the villains. I mean, there's some great ones, but I mean, it was just
Creeper.
And yeah, probably.
Come on, Creeper, Miner 49er, the Black Knight.
Yeah, the Miner. But real quick, I don't want to make this a Scooby-Doo episode. Like Zoinks, it's 45 minutes and they're still talking about it. My whole point is there's a wealth. You can't watch all the Scooby-Doo stuff.
Nah.
I've ordered DVDs of this really obscure one, a pup named Scooby-Doo, where they're all little kids growing up in the 80s. There's the don't get me started on Scrappy-Doo.
Oh man, they've got a new comic book line in DC Comics, Scooby-Doo. It's a post-apocalyptic setting where the Scooby gangs they meet up at Burning Man. They're investigating a bioterrorist factory, and then things go wild, and they usher us into the post-apocalypse. And the illustration looks fucking amazing. It's cool.
Shaggy at Burning Man.
Yeah, who saw that coming?
Like Zoinks, Fred, I'm tripping balls.
All right, well, fill that puppy.
Yeah,
fill that puppy up.
That's enough about Scooby-Doo. You know what? I've talked so much. I'm starting to resent Scooby-Doo a little bit. But no, my God, for indulging me and could you guys sing the Scooby-Doo song while I chug the boot?
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Something, yeah, something. Something, something, something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Something, something, something. Da 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 da.
Maybe we had like that, if the Ghost Pirate was here, that would be, or at least the skeleton.
Thank you, Cade.
Freaky astronaut.
Do you think that,
Good call.
Do you think Ruby and Spears are like, we would have been in heaven 2 weeks ago if it weren't for you meddling podcasters? Moving on. What do we do every episode, Yaks? Besides chug IPAs. Ugh.
3 things. No particular order, but we'll start with, we like to take a cigar
Uno.
and pair it with a beer.
Dos.
And all whilst we review a film.
Tres.
We talk about a cigar, we talk about a beer, we talk about a film, and we try to tie them all together thematically.
All together.
C.
We might be a micro penis podcast, but we pair shit better than any other cigar podcast on the scene.
Okay.
You can shirt to that one.
Any other cigar media comes up saying they pair shit better than us, we will shart all over them.
Definitely short all over you.
We'll definitely shart all over. Not like
Don't even try it.
it's COVID. I don't go around anybody anyway. I shart on them like metaphysically. But Cody will queef right in their face. He doesn't give a shit. He's hardcore. I don't think that word means what I think it means. Anyway, we'll talk about that we'll talk about that on break. Kind of a sheltered childhood. Tonight's cigar is let me make sure I'm pronouncing this right. Triqui Traca.
Triqui Traca.
The Mi Querida Triqui Traca by Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. It is a 5x52 Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, Dominican and Nicaraguan fillers. I'll say price point for last, as always. So before Dunbarton's Steve Saka makes his usually snickering remarks about the length of our show, every time we feature a show, he's like, I'd love to know what the guys think, but who's got 4 hours to a lot of people, Steve, a lot of people.
Yeah, we get it, Steve.
We get emails, they want it longer. We just we gotta stop at some point. I just want to mention he makes a 7x64 version of tonight's cigar that took Charlie over at halfwheel.com an average of 4 hours to smoke. Don't forget your cold draw notes. You forgot you.
No, that cold draw just stood right out.
You lit up too fast last time. So, dude, there's a 7x64. This thing. Charlie smoked 3 of them for review on Halfwheel, and the average smoking time was 4 hours. So, dude, Steve could have sent us those instead, and that would have lasted us perfectly. But no, he gives us the shortest one. Just
Thanks,
saying,
Steve.
Hey, snicker. Yeah, I can
Snicker.
We can snicker too. Oh, we like Steve, and we like Mi Queridas. Get this, the Mi Querida Ancho Largo. I think it's Ancho. We featured way back on episode 42. We named it our #1 cigar of the year back in 2016. And then we reviewed the original Mi Querida Firecracker on episode 76, and it got our #10 cigar of the year in 2018. And this is actually this blend tonight, the Triqui Traca. I cannot say it. I can't want to say tricky. That's Triqui. Is actually a variation of that Firecracker blend that was so successful for Steve. So will the Mi Querida winning streak continue tonight? The doctor's not here, so I'll say it for him. It's far too early to tell. But with these cigars, I also acquired Steve's personal notes on the cigar. So before I ask you guys about your cold draw, whenever I get Steve's personal notes,
I'm going to turn my earphones off real quick.
it always, well, I guess it was the fog. Maybe we smoked the Mi Querida in.
I think so.
Because I ended up reading Steve's personal tasting notes in the Adrian Barbeau fog voice, and every Saka cigar since then I've read his notes because they just read like super sexy. Whenever something reads super sexy, you gotta do it. So here we go. This is what Steve Saka has to say about tonight's cigar, as delivered by Stevie Wayne from the Fog. Mi Querida Triqui Traca is arguably our boldest cigar released to date, baby. And I will insert babies where they need to be. I should mention that. Triqui Traca is local Nicaraguan slang for oversized firecrackers that are connected by fuses in a long serial string. These explosive ropes are then laid down the center of the street and sometimes stretch multiple blocks. Ignited from one end, they explode in a cascading line of powerful concussions and blinding light down the entire length of the street, baby. Triqui Traca are often ignited on the celebration of important religious and national holidays. This cultural icon is an ideal moniker for the power and the explosive nature of this cigar, honey. At its core, it remains our quintessential Mi Querida blend, with its earthy, sweet broadleaf notes, but with the incorporation of a couple refinements. The Kappa has been switched from the traditional Connecticut broadleaf mediums to the rare #1 dark Corona leaves lover, plus a unique high-octane Lajero grown in the Dominican Republic has also been introduced into the Liga. The resulting cigar retains its inherent sweet loam and chocolate characteristics, yet delivers a significantly fuller-bodied smoking experience. Please understand, this is an ideal smoking experience. This is not an ideal smoking experience for all, but rather it is a Liga intended for those who crave the heaviest of Maduro smokes, baby. That's sexy.
It is.
He just writes about cigars very, very sexily. Sexily. It's a word.
My marketing bug.
You say that every time we do it.
I know. But I will say this right off the cold draw, chocolate and toffee. I mean, it was just in your face. Boom, here's you some chocolate toffee. It's almost like sucking on a Tootsie Roll there. The look of this thing, rustic. It's got a nice brown, but it's not like that Maduro dark. It's just it's got a little bit of a rust to it. It's just nice and rustic.
Mine's got some really nice tooth. It's got the rough, running fingers, and you can actually see the toothiness. Mine's a really dark brown, but man, some oils there. I got straight up leather smell on the broadleaf itself, and then on the cold draw, I got some it was like a combination of, like you said, like chocolate, but I also got some nut, like a cashew kind of flavor coming through there. And
yeah, I got toffee.
It's
nice.
It's sexy as hell. It's sexy as hell.
It made my voice go into, oh yeah, how you doing?
What? So yeah, I've never had one of these. So, well, actually, that's not right. I had one a few weeks ago, but I was it was one of those rare kind of special nights where I was intoxicated.
Rare.
Sorry.
That's all right. Rare.
I don't remember. I remember liking it, but I can't tell you exactly what was going on. So I am looking forward to trying this one in my professional cigar expert reviewer mindset. Yaks, did you get kind of the same thing? Some chocolate on the draw and man, it's a beautiful. I don't know what you're talking about though, Tut. Mine's really dark. I mean, it's pretty damn dark.
Yeah, but to me, it is dark. But to me, it's got way more brown notes. Like there's cigars like there are Maduro cigars that are like so dark brown that they start introducing a bit of blackness into it. Yeah, almost that Oscuro type. But no, this is a real dark brown, but you could see the red in it. And I mean, you can see the orange, you can see the rust. And that's what I like about it.
Well, there you go. That makes sense. But yeah, it is a toothy bastard. You could sand something with this thing.
Yeah.
Man, I really want to light this up. So I'm going to, while Yak Boy tells us a little bit about what we're drinking tonight. And you know what? I'm feeling cocky as hell. I think I'm going to have the best pairing of the night. Start with me, Yaks. Tell the good folks what I'm drinking to go with our big gun powerhouse of a cigar and the movie Guns.
And the movie Guns. You're drinking a squirt.
Squirt gun.
Squirt gun. I'm sorry. The Squirt Gun Juicy IPA.
Yeah.
It is from Real Ale Brewing, located in wonderful Blanco, Texas.
There you go.
Real Ale, of course, we've had many of theirs.
They do they do our Hans Pills, correct?
Hans Pills, that is correct. Started
Yes.
back in 1996. The Squirt Gun, like I just said, it is a juicy IPA. It was originally kind of a variation off of one of their better IPAs, the Axis IPA they do.
Found in every major airport in the United States.
Yeah, that's that and Goosehead are the two IPAs you can get in any airport in the continental United States.
It is actually a variation to an Australian style IPA using the Southern Hemisphere hops.
I did not know this. This is a new thing for me.
Number wise, it comes in at 6%, so just right on that low end. But this is more towards, I guess this, I'm not, as like, you just said, I'm not very familiar with the Australian style either. It's more like a New England style. It's only about 40 IBUs. So
yeah,
it's definitely.
It is not a bit, I always feel weird saying it's not a bitter heavy IPA, because to me that's what I'm looking for.
That's what an IPA should be, yeah.
But my God, it smells like orange juice.
Well,
which is good, because I think I could probably drink this at breakfast and nobody would know.
It kind of looks that way, yeah.
And it's just very citrus heavy, but not the usual. It doesn't have. It smells like oranges. Like the flavor profile is kind of more of a papaya, like a darker, richer kind of.
I was going to say, if I were guessing, that it wouldn't be total citrus. It'd be more of the tropical fruit type stuff.
Yeah, it smells like oranges. I'm not getting orange actually on it. I'm getting some papaya. It's really thick. It pours really thick too. I don't know if you can see that. I mean, it's a dense.
So is it kind of like going into the hazy style?
Yeah, but it's but actually it does the what'd you say, 40 IBUs?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it 40, maybe a little bit more. I mean, I'm definitely getting the hops, but they're playing really nice with it. It's not overly sweet. And unlike the hazies, boy, there's just something. Maybe it's an Australian hop, Yax?
Yeah, the Southern Hemisphere.
Maybe it's just that unique strain of hop that's working for me. I mean, it's just got a really cool taste for it. I don't think anything's going to get in the way of this cigar, but this beer certainly won't. Yeah, you guys would like this one. It's good. What is Mr. Bolo tie and Conway Twitty blazer wearing? What's he drinking?
He is drinking a Tecate. Or wait, is it Dos?
I'm drinking both of them, actually.
Hey, look at this guy.
I had the pre-show Dos Equis. I had the intro Dos Equis. Now I'm switching to the Tecate. So,
all right. Both Tecate and Dos Equis are produced in. I'm going to not be able to pronounce this properly. Cerveceria Coahuetemoc Montezuma.
I'm sorry. I usually don't laugh at you, Yak. So
I know it's got so many little things over it. I'm like, I have no way to. I could spell it for you. It would probably be easier.
you sounded like an alien that was like trying to communicate with us, like. Like
it is located. They are located in Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico.
Nuevo León.
And they were founded all the way back in the wonderful year of 1890.
1890.
Of course, it was founded. The brewery was founded by Wilhelm Hess. Yes, that is a German name.
Yep. They got the Germans in there. They were like, hey, we wanted to get some beer down here. Let's get the Germans.
The majority, and most people, the majority of the older Mexican breweries were all founded by German immigrants into Mexico. So,
stay thirsty, my friend.
And they themselves, they originally start their first beer off that they began producing was the Carta Blanca.
The Carta Blanca.
The Carta Blanca. Now, of course, they have since gone on, and they are now owned by Heineken. So they are a part of the international global beer.
Well, Germans started them, and then Germans ended them. Full circle.
Oh. Heineken isn't German.
Yeah. Denmark. Same thing.
I don't think they'll be happy about that one. Tecate, number wise, it's a 4. Well, they're basically pretty much the same in terms of that. They're 4.5% both.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Their IBUs, of course, they are both lagers, and the IBUs are almost non-existent, about 10 to 15. So
yeah,
they usually, everyone says have a lime with it, but if it's fresh, it's not necessary.
It is necessary. I'm not drinking that stuff without limes.
Nope.
Why don't you tell us why you selected Tecate and Dos Equis tonight? As you look
as the wonderful trademark from the brewery is for Dos is that beer with such good taste, it's chosen you to drink it.
That's right, my friend.
Did it choose you, Tut?
These beers chose me. I did not choose them.
I don't think he's allowed to do that.
Mm.
I chose it.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons.
It was in my fridge.
I chose this for 3 reasons. It actually was in my fridge, both of these.
Mm-hmm.
I do like some Mexican lagers on occasion. But the main reason, number 1, is an actor by the name of Eric Estrada. You might know him from Chips.
Chips.
He's
not salsa and chips. The television show.
The television show. Chips.
Those beers go really good with salsa and chips.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Which, by the way, tonight I had a big ass burrito to fill up because it's a show night, so you need to carb up to soak up. So I got a big old burrito.
We're basically like Michael Phelps. We have to consume 7,000 calories at dinner to get through the show.
And then the other reason is an actor by the name of Danny Trejo. So we have 2 Latin actors, and I'm like, I got me some Latin beer. We're Latin it on up.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Yak Boy, what's your favorite Mexican beer?
Oh, I'm probably going to go the Modelo.
I was about to say the Modelo, the Especial, or the Negro?
The Negro.
Yeah, Negro Modelo. I agree.
It's a good one.
It's a toss-up for me between Negro Modelo and actually, Bohemia is actually pretty good. I've been on a Pacifico kick here lately.
I was going to say, we talked last week about Fat Tire sponsoring when I was in Underground Filmmaker. They gave us a bunch of beer to put into my movie. Also did Pacifico.
Mm-hmm.
And I drank a piss load of Pacifico for like an entire summer. So I have a soft spot for Pacifico. It's good beer.
I like it, especially like when it's when you're at the Mexican restaurant.
Oh, when it's ice cold.
Oh yeah.
And oh man, Coronas I like when they I don't know, do they do this in other states or just Texas where they give you a margarita about the size of a fat kid's head and they put like 3 upside down bottles of Corona beer in it? Is that a thing that anybody other state does stupid shit like that? Or
I'm sure there are others, because I mean, if they don't do that anywhere else, I'm going to be like, look, you like to say, you know what, they do special things where I'm from, but I don't want to be known for that.
well, I want to say I want to say
think
I
that's
asked
like all throughout the South, at least the Gulf Coast states. So you're going to be Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida's doing it.
I believe I asked for that somewhere while traveling, and I got looked at. Do you have like a goblet the size of a fat kid's head that you could fill with cheap, shitty margarita mix and then just put some upside down beers in it?
That might have been the location more so than the actual.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, sir, this is a Kentucky Waffle House. We do our own brand of strange shit here. Okay. I'll just get the hot dog omelet. That's more like it.
Don't bring your customs to us. You take our customs, damn it.
Next thing you know, I'm drinking a margarita with hot dogs stuck in it. I don't know what's going on.
Welcome to the Kentucky Barn Smoker.
That was Florida.
Oh, dang it.
The Florida was the hot dog margarita. That only leaves you, Yak Boy. What could you possibly pair with a powerhouse cigar, the Triqui Traca, and the movie Guns starring Eric Estrada and, as Tut said, Danny Trejo?
Perhaps something dark to go with a dark cigar.
Mm-hmm.
That is a Negro-looking beer right there, my friend.
This, I have last few shows. I've been sticking with the dark beers. It's like, even though it's not cold outside here where we live, I damn well want it to be, because when the cold weather starts, I start to go with the stouts and the porters. Yeah. And I'm really hoping that if I keep drinking them, then the weather will change and all will be good.
Uh-huh.
It's not working out so far.
No. We're in shorts. And Tut's got shorts on under that blazer, I guarantee it.
I went because of the initial location of our film this evening. I said, hey, they're going to be filming on Molokai.
Yeah.
The closest I could get to it would be Maui.
Yeah.
Maui Brewing Company.
A big portion of tonight's film takes place in Hawaii. What is it? The coconuts?
This is the coconut haiwa. The haiwa, Hawaiian, it means precious or favorite.
Okay.
So it is a coconut porter, or it is a porter. It does have a little. Doesn't really. It's not like it tastes like coconut at all. At first, I was like, you know what? I think I had one of these many moons ago, and I was like, I couldn't remember. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with it because of the movie. I'll try it out, and luckily, it's not like it's just steeped in coconut. It is not.
What was the coconut we did? Death by Coconut?
Yes, Death by Coconut.
Yeah, Oscar Blues.
Yeah. The Maui Brewing Company, they are located on the island of Maui in Kahil, Hawaii. It started back in 2005. They are now the largest brewery in Hawaii. They're one of the #1 beers in the islands. This one, of course, is well known. It does have, hints of coconut, but it's well known. This is also very, very strong with a mocha flavor, which I am liking that. So given the description of our cigar and what we've already kind of picked up on it, I'm hoping this is going to knock each other out.
You might have an outsider. Man, that was a risky pick, but I'll keep an eye on you tonight.
Well, and number wise, it's a 6% and it's only 30 IBUs. Has a hint of hops, but
well, when you got a cigar that reeks of like rich, chocolate and cherry and those kind of flavors, and then you introduce coconut. I don't see how that could be a bad thing. But what do I know? I'm only one of the world's most renowned cigar experts, according to a website.
They no longer exist.
Yeah, that they actually got pulled down pretty quick after they said that about me. I don't correlation there. Fake news. Tut, you just fired your baby up. I'll go first because I lit up during the beer talk. I immediately appreciate this cigar because instead of the usual kind of introduction of pepper or spice through the nose, well, there was just that very initial spice upon torching the cigar. It transitioned into just a really refined leather note coming out the nose on the retrohale, and I'm not used to getting that heavy of a leather through the nose as opposed to the draw. And then on the draw, I'm getting that, like I said, that kind of rich brownie chocolate and earth, and they're going really great with that leather. But for me, that initial pepper on the nose was gone after about, not even a half an inch, which you just lit up, Tut. So I'm like I said, I'm a little bit ahead of you. What are your first thoughts?
To be honest, that lack of pepper, the lack of blast on the light up threw me for a complete loop.
Yeah, it did me too. I was waiting for it.
I was for sure that it would. Yeah. And it's kind of like when you see a fight and you know that this fighter is trained for the other fighter, just religiously. It's kind of like Rocky, and all of a sudden Rocky comes out southpaw and Apollo's like, what the hell just happened here? I'm kind of at a loss for words. I was so like ready for that pepper and just totally dodged away. I was just kind of like, whoa.
Well, that's you bringing your preconceived expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, that's part of the experience.
Sure, of course, it's very personal. But yeah, for me, man, it's just a really, really nice, strong, pronounced leather on the nose, which is kind of a unique retrohale. But
I've got a little bit like, all right, first of all, the retrohale on this is very approachable. There's nothing harsh about it, which I love.
Nice.
I am getting a bit of your leather, but I'm also getting something else, and I'm not exactly sure what to put my finger on. That leather is like a top flavor, but there's something else that's just kind of sitting there.
Cashews.
I'm having a hard time trying to explain. It's not as sweet as cashews.
Almonds.
I mean, it could be a nut. It actually
Walnut.
could be.
It's walnuts.
It actually could be, but it's nice. I mean, it is just.
I only say that because I did get that nuttiness when smelling the foot of the cigar before lighting up. There is something there underneath the leather. I'm too early to kind of dig in that far, but for me, the draw is a dark chocolate and an earth. But immediately and I don't say this, fact check me, folks, 126 episodes. I don't mention nicotine in a cigar very much. I don't, you occasionally will point something out, Tut, like a nicotine kick. But I am getting a nicotine kick off of this, which I want to say I do remember from the firecrackers that I had. There is something in the cigar that's got some balls to it. And I'm going to predict that around the halfway point, this fucker is going to be a different cigar than what we get here in the beginning. Strength wise.
Well, I'm curious to see what that is because I'm not even a half an inch in, and this thing is a beautiful cigar. I'm really kind of enjoying this. You said 7x64 is another Vitola of this.
Yeah, 4 hour smoke apparently. So you could probably knock it out in an hour and a half.
All right.
All this sound copacetic to you, Yak Boy?
It does. Y'all weren't joking when y'all said there's not a hint of that. Like you just said, expecting to light up and just be blasted in the face with the spice, considering that description, and it's mellow. But I mean, it's incredibly flavorful.
I wouldn't say mellow. To me, it's a strong leather, but it's like Tut said, approachable. It's not. There's no harshness to it. I mean, it's smooth, right, but it's bold.
Yes. No, and that I'm that chocolate, that leather. I'm really liking it. And I get the, like what you just said. I'm really getting the feeling like he probably just put it about an inch from the front. Then that's when you start with it.
Yeah. Construction is great. If anything, it's smoking too fast. Look at that. I mean, I'm gonna have to kind of watch that. I know everyone says smoke slower to get the blenders intense, so I'm gonna try my best. But smoke production, like all of Steve's stuff, this thing's pouring really beautiful smoke out of both ends. All right. Well, hey, speaking of Steve Saka, do you boys remember who he used to work for before founding his own company, Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust?
That would be Drew Estate.
Correct, Tut. He was the president of Drew Estate for quite a while. And Drew Estate are the wizards behind the curtain of one of the most unique cigars currently on the market. The Pappy Van Winkle Family Reserve barrel fermented cigar is a long filler premium cigar rolled in limited quantities at La Gran Fabrica Drew Estate in Esteli, Nicaragua. Now you got me talking that damn accent. Deep barrel fermentation. I'll go the opposite. I'll go my Trace Atkins. Deep barrel fermentation is the key process that makes this expression vastly different from anything else on the market. Hand-selected leaves from Kentucky are packed into small torque kits, which to men like me are called bundles. And they're then loaded strategically into oak bourbon barrels. Water's then added, while immense pressure's applied to the torque kits via railroad jacks, just like my granddaddy used. The total process of fermentation takes 12 to 18 months, leaving a truly unique flavor profile and aroma. The Pappy Van Winkle's Family Reserve Barrel Fermented is now available at brick and mortar Drew Diplomat retailers everywhere. God bless America. Oh, geez, between Barbeau and Atkins, I'm going to pass out before the other night. These things take a little bit out of you.
I just received a text message. Joe Grow would like to see you in the morning.
He can see me any morning he wants to. Am I not allowed to do the commercial spots in the Trace Atkins voice anymore?
He didn't say that. He just said that you should contact him at your early convenience.
Damn it. That can't be good. I was gonna do something in there where he's talking about 12 to 18 months fermentation. Did you know that a baby's heartbeat starts at 18 days?
No, don't. Please.
Your vote matters.
Please.
But I didn't do that.
You just did it right then.
You can't do it and then say you didn't.
Oh, but the commercial's over. So Joe can't yell at me for that. That's how that works.
I said with all due respect.
I did say with all due respect. Again, we are a micro penis of a podcast. Nobody's paying attention to what we're doing out here. There's a third portion of our show, which is just as important as the cigar and the beer boys. We talk about a movie. Yes. And very, very uncharacteristic of him. It's probably about a year ago, Tut, or or maybe earlier this year. Tut sends me 2 trailers and is like, these might be good these might be good movies to talk about. I'm like, he never does that. And I'm like, okay. I was like, so I put him in I put him to the side there with some other things. And, but I was like, we're going to get to one of these at some point. I mean, showed some kind of interest and enthusiasm in the podcast. I should probably
You need to reward that every now
should
and then.
reward that somehow.
Yeah.
One of
It's
them
called
was
a carrot.
well, is it working? Are you getting excited?
You never know. You never know. I'm going to be watching both of you to make sure that you're showing the proper excitement to my choice tonight.
Oh yeah, it's a lot better than we only let you pick one other movie in the whole history of the show, and
it was a great pick. It was Maximum Overdrive. It was a great pick.
I think we might have had some fun with it, but I think we were like, it's like the worst Stephen King movie ever, and
but it's an awesome pick.
It tracked. No, you picked the one that I picked from your picks was 1990s Guns. That's it. That's the name of the movie. Guns. Like slugs. Guns. And probably when I talk about the movie a lot tonight, when I ask you like, what does this mean? Guns.
I am with guns. It's no fun. Guns.
Oh God. I wish we could have got her on the show tonight. Just sing that song in a little square on the Zoom.
Just dance that song.
Dancing. Of course, what should be like 50, mid 50s now? She
probably still looks.
Well, those things would be in their mid 30s.
I was about to say the half-life on those things is impressive.
Yeah, they'd be okay. Hey, to help set the mood tonight, did you guys notice I'm wearing a t-shirt?
I saw that.
Featuring the most iconic gun in movie history, the PKD blaster from Blade Runner. Do you guys agree? What's your favorite movie gun of all time? Hans Blaster, probably.
Man, Hans Blaster is pretty dang good. The Dirty Harry.
Smith & Wesson?
That is pretty iconic. Man, why did you put me on the spot like this? There's so many to choose from. The minigun from Predator is probably one of the most instant recognizable. You don't even have to see Jesse the body. You just see that gun and you think Predator. Man, oh man,
those
Walter PK is the Bond gun. Come on.
Yax, what were those guns they used in Aliens? Those big space machine guns?
Oh,
those were kind of cool.
Well, the smaller one was the rifle, and that was actually of course the iconic thing from Aliens 2 was the fact that it had a counter on it. Everybody was just enamored that you didn't have to worry. You could just see how much how many bullets you still had left.
Yeah, that was cool.
Then that was a trope that got put into every video game after that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. All of a sudden, you're playing video games. You have a bullet count. That's where that started, huh?
Well, that probably the Marine rifle from Aliens 2 is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I think, and this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but I have to go
Chewie's crossbow.
I want to say it's a lifetime achievement, but that's putting my old man spin on it. It's not a lifetime achievement, but the gun that is, it just in terms of movies and entertainment and TV that just kind of stands out for me. The 80s Uzi. It's just such a
that's not crazy at all.
Distinct weapon.
Just talking about it a minute ago, I flashed to Arnold with the Uzi in the first Terminator. And then how many movies have we featured on this podcast? 50 where the dudes were using Uzis. I think Miami Connection,
were we going off of like a very specific, like this movie, I mean, it features a single iconic gun, or are we talking about something that actually from the real world?
Yeah, I mean, what I like
both.
There's no rule. There's no rules, Yax. I mean, I also like those. Remember in Arnold's Eraser, those rail guns that you could
rail guns
dial into people's body temperatures and just. I think those things they're supposed to be.
If you're doing that, then my favorite of all guns is the Running Man net gun.
Oh, you just fucked everything up. Yeah, you know what?
It's awesome.
Ladies, it's your lucky night. I'm taking off the stupid shirt. The net gun is the best gun. Until I get a net gun t-shirt, I will go topless. Yeah, dude, the net gun. That is the best gun.
Net gun's the best gun.
I thought you were going to build us one of those, Yags.
I don't remember that conversation.
Which I think, ironically, we were going to use it on Steve Saka at Cats Fest.
Oh, wait, that was for the that was because we were going to do the Running Man short.
Yeah. Yeah, good call. Good call. All in favor of the net gun being the best gun ever?
It's pretty awesome, yeah. I can go with that.
Yeah. Stupid Blade Runner gun.
Blade Runner gun's still good.
That's the beauty of all the movies, man. There's some beautiful iconic weapons.
There really was. None of them, by the way, are featured in tonight's film, Guns. Strange, huh?
I think he got that Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
Was that Smith and Wesson bad boy in there?
It is. It would have been nice if the guy with it knew how to shoot it.
Supposed to just trip over the most obvious thing in his path and lose it. Anyway,
we'll get to that. Let me introduce this.
How was he supposed to hang on to it? It was so huge and bulky. His hands couldn't wrap around the handle.
It reminds me of another name for the podcast that I actually scratched that one out. It wasn't. Even my radar picked up that was a bad call. Guns, 1990s Guns, written and directed by the late legendary cult filmmaker Andy Sedaris, and produced, as were all of his other films, by his wife Arlene Sedaris, with directing credits featuring movie titles such as Savage Beach, Hard Ticket to Hawaii, and Malibu Express.
Ticket Hawaii. Malibu Express. Okay. All right.
It's mind-boggling to me how we haven't featured any of his bikini action film mashups before now. But we shall make up for that drunken oversight tonight, boys.
I'll go ahead in a minute. When I was watching this movie, I was like, man, I have seen this before. I've seen these chicks. I've seen this whole shtick, but I haven't seen this because I haven't seen these people.
Yeah.
Malibu Express.
All of the movies are the same cast, same kind of plot, just kind of a different face dropped in. Tonight's face is, as we mentioned, Eric Estrada. He's not in Malibu Express, but Sedaris, his films are routinely referred to as triple B movies as opposed to B movies because they have bullets, bombs, and babes.
There you go.
But get this. Andy Sedaris's best-known work prior to his triple B movies was with ABC's Wide World of Sports, where he was the show's very first director and continued in that post for 25 years. He was the director of ABC's Wide World of Sports for 25 years. He also pioneered what came to be known as the honey shot, which is close-ups of cheerleaders and female fans in the stands, really close up. Whenever you see a sports where they cut away to a pretty girl in the stands, that's Andy Sedaris, which makes sense. And get this. He won an Emmy Award in 1969 for directing ABC Sports coverage of the 1968 Summer Olympics. Isn't it? This guy's had a legitimate, really lengthy quarter of a century sports career. That's crazy, right?
And then retired to do boobs, babes, and bullets.
And told his wife, I want you to do it with me, baby.
I want you to fund it. That's love. That's love.
That is love. As far as she must have really loved him. I'm sure he loved her too. Did you not? A wife that's like, hey, I need 4 naked chicks up on that stage for the shoot tomorrow. All right, babe, I'll get it for you. You mentioned Sonny and Cher earlier, Todd. That's why they split up.
That's right. That's right.
Before I get into the meat and potatoes of tonight's film, Todd, you got a beautiful little ash on that thing. Still earth and chocolate on the draw, that nice leather on the You getting that nicotine that I mentioned yet?
I mean, maybe I am, but I don't. To me, I don't really sense it that much.
It came and went.
Yeah.
And this is going to sound like a total goofball thing to say. And this is why we're micro penises in the cigar media world, because I guarantee you nobody else is around. I'm about right. I'm about an inch or two ahead of you.
Yeah.
I just got a blast of marshmallow.
Marshmallow?
Like marshmallow, like that fluff, that jarred marshmallow fluff stuff like you put on ice cream. Oh my God, it was delicious. Dude, marshmallow with, the nuttiness and the chocolate. Holy shit. Let me know if you get anything even close to that. I'm not sure if it's going to stick around, but it just hit me, so I had to comment on it.
I do have some of that dark cherry that's kind of dancing around on the draw.
I'll say the same thing, though, this is supposed to be an amped up version of the Mi Querida. And what I said with the Mi Querida was I expected it to be stronger, and I kind of wanted it to be a little stronger. And when we did the firecracker, I want to say that we kind of got the intent there, that it was a little bit bolder than the original Mi Querida. But to me, this is a very full-bodied cigar. But so far, strength-wise, I'm in medium territory. It's not kicking my ass at all. Same with you guys?
I can agree with that. That's what I said. It just seems so mellow, and I was hoping, getting close to the halfway mark, that maybe it's gonna ramp up. I mean,
it doesn't get more
arrow. We mentioned
it doesn't get more mellow than marshmallow cream.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've got a little
because
bit of creaminess that I wouldn't label that as marshmallow,
but all those flavors are full and present. I mean, you're not having to hunt around for a lot of stuff.
No, it's it's full-bodied, lovers. But no, strength wise, yeah, I'm at a medium right now. Except for those nicotine spikes, which kind of take it medium full. But I'll come back to you, boys. Let's talk about this film, shall we? So what's this film about that Tud has chosen for us tonight?
Guns?
There's some guns, but that's not the heart and soul of this puppy. Let me give you a little summary. Juan Dega, it's Degas, but the S is silent. The S is silent. It's Dega. Played by Eric Estrada, is the Jack of Diamonds, a nefarious armsmonger who intends to smuggle a big quantity of a new state-of-the-art weapon into America through Hawaii. Why are you laughing?
Where was the gun? Where was the gun made in?
That was made in China.
And you could tell because of the sticker, the red star sticker that was sitting.
They paint the Chinese star from their.
They don't paint it. That was like a cut out piece of paper taped to the side of the gun.
Yeah.
That's great.
We'll get to that gun. And Dega intends to smuggle a big quantity of these state-of-the-art weapons into America, but he's got to go through Hawaii because the planes need to refuel there on their way to China.
Makes sense.
In order to do so, Dega desperately needs to come up with a clever scheme to get the island-based lethal agents out of his way who threaten the success of his plans. So with the intention to liquidate both lethal agents, Donna and Nicole, Dega's assassins manage to engage them in a dangerous, fast-paced chase that will eventually lead them to Las Vegas, thousands of miles away. However, when Dega's men abduct Donna's mother, it will be his biggest mistake because from that point on, things are about to get very personal. Hungry for revenge, Donna, armed with a devastating rocket launcher, will have to go through stealthy ninja assassins. I'm going to question the stealthy part on that. And radio-controlled boats loaded with explosives to protect her family. And it all concludes in a very explosive finale. Will the lethal ladies claim victory? Will Dega complete his mission and wipe them out and sell arms to international terrorists here in America? We're going to find out. Does that about sum it up?
It
Pretty
does.
much, yes.
Okay.
Man, introduce another B to this mix. Beer.
Beer. I think you say bullshit.
Wow, introduce another B to this movie.
Andy Sedaris was known for his triple, quadruple, six or seven B's movies.
Quintuple, sextuplet.
There's a lot of bouncing things in these things too. That's a B word. Well, unlike our last film, Land of the Free, which is a fun show, you should go listen to it, folks, which featured the worst opening credit sequence that we've ever seen. I like the simplicity of Guns opening, which was just the word guns on the screen and a bullet going through it.
You know what you're getting.
I liked it.
I was figuring it might be like a little bit of an A-Team thing, guns, and then it like shoots right across it. No,
Pow, 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 pow.
and bam.
Just one bullet. The rest of the credits play out as we watch a bikini-clad chick sing a song about guns.
Guns are no fun. I said guns are no fun. Yeah.
Again, he can't sing the fucking Scooby-Doo song for me, but he watched this movie and he got that song right. While she performs on a stage at a Las Vegas nightclub, I loved this movie. Started off on the right foot for me. I loved how there were dudes in the audience watching this chick in a bikini with these giant knockers singing this horrible song with their wives. Like this was their date night. Like,
classy. It's classy.
And the wives, they're also like they're enjoying this. Like,
It's classy.
Hey baby, I've got the perfect romantic spot picked for our anniversary dinner tonight. You like big tits, right?
Guns. No.
Look, I'd never take you to the theater. Here we are.
You said you wanted to see a live show.
And I'm trying to introduce you to some culture here.
Blue Man Group was sold out. Here she is.
What, you want to go see the guys with the tigers over there?
Yeah, they were still around at this point. This is option like 4. Cirque du Soleil. There's no way I'm, no. Who's the guy with the puppets? Like, that still seems a little. Actually, back in 19 was it 90?
I was about to say, was Dunham around in the 90s?
No, this had been 1990.
Oh, you're talking about it. This would have been let's see,
Howie Mandel.
Howie Mandel would probably been in residence. I bet Don Rickles would probably still been in residence in the 90s. I'm definitely seeing that thing.
Again, though, that's not something your wife. That's what we want to see.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you can go see that David Copperfield guy.
Oh, he was
gonna make something disappear.
He was definitely around. Yeah, there you go. But no, she's up there singing this horrible song, and these couples are just soaking it up. So, as I mentioned in the movie synopsis, master criminal Dega, Eric Estrada, and his right-hand man Tong, played by Tut.
Danny Trejo.
And what does he wear a lot in this movie, Tut?
Style and class is what he wears.
He wears a bolo tie. Only he wears like these leisure suits made out of aluminum foil. Like,
yeah, I don't have it. I was like, that was my intent. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna slick my hair. I'm gonna get the bolo tie on. I'm gonna wear the suit. And then when I wore it, I was like, man, you don't look like a lobster. You look like some third-rate fat divorce attorney.
Yeah.
All right.
It still works. Well, Dega and his henchman Tong hire these 2 total numbnuts to take out his government agent adversaries in Honolulu. These screwballs have this elaborate assassination plot cooked up, but Tong hands them 2 guns instead. A Smith & Wesson always beats 4 aces, Dega says coldly. It was so weird in this film watching Ponch as a bad guy, watching Eric Estrada as a bad guy.
It was.
Did you? I mean, I couldn't make that. I couldn't get over the hump. I couldn't.
I totally could. It's something that I think that he could easily have done. This movie was a little bit. It just wasn't right for him because he could have done so much more. I'm sorry.
I think Eric Estrada should have been Vincent Vega in Pulp Fiction. I think he would have been great in that. I'm being facetious, obviously. No, I think this was the perfect chance on a low budget film where he could have I'll show them there's a different side to Estrada. And this isn't a slam on him. He was just so goddamn likable as Ponch and Chips for so many years, and that's what we saw him at. He was so likable as the gay microbrewery owner in King Cobra, a film we did on the podcast. When he smiles, it's just this, you can't help but like the guy.
Well, and I think that's kind of the thing is he should have been doing that instead, because the guy that's smiling when menacing things are happening is twice as menacing. Because he's enjoying the menace. Instead, he's trying to look so serious.
I just couldn't at any point believe him in this role. He's got some cool lines though. When he's talking to the assassins and they want to do all those fancy ways to kill people, he's like, "Hey, just take the cerebral approach." And they're like, "What's that?" Shoot him in the head.
Shoot him in the head.
That was actually good.
I like that.
It's a good line. It's a really good line. But then after he says that, he flashes that Poncherello smile, and I'm like, "Oh man."
That's what I'm saying. I was like, he should have just been doing that.
I can't buy him.
And what's so really bad is that you've got him doing that, and then right next to him, shoulder to shoulder, is one of the most menacing looking guys on the face of the planet.
Well, here's the thing. This was 1990. Trejo, or 98. I'm sorry. 98? No, 90.
No, 90.
Trejo at this point, this is early in his film career, even before Heat. This is when he was just kind of getting these small roles where the filmmakers, they didn't give him anything else to do but look like a tough guy, which granted, he does better than any other actor on the planet. And he just has to stand there and he looks tough as shit. Yeah. Wearing a bolo tie, looking tough as shit. That's hard. It's not easy, folks. Let me ask you this, going to this, because the whole opening is about this assassination attempt to get these ladies, these lethal agents killed so he can freely smuggle his guns through Hawaii. If you're going to hire some professional killers, pay them all this money to travel from Vegas to Hawaii in order to kill their targets, would you fly with them? And not only that, walk around with them and point out to the targets? The Jack of Diamonds does not believe in alibis.
The Jack of the Diamonds should have been nowhere near
apparently
this.
He doesn't believe in just having a photo to give to the killers and a location.
No, he walks around with them. He actually is like, yeah, they're right there. And then why'd you hire them? You could have done it.
Well, I mean, I was waiting for them to be, you see the women in that shop or whatever, then they pan the camera over. He's in the corner behind a T-shirt pointing at him.
My guess is Estrada had a thing in his contract where they had to fly him to Hawaii. And it's like, well, we had to bring him here. Might as well put him in.
Might as well put him in there.
It makes no sense. Why are you going to hire assassins and go with them?
Well, I mean, it was incredible because he's there meeting the guy about the guns. So he's having that meeting. So why couldn't they have been on some out there while he's shooting the gun and say, now go kill this person?
See, when I pick a movie, it makes no sense. You guys are like, slugs. Well, why did this? Slugs. Can't we just guns?
Yes, we can.
I noticed Estrada's character kind of had it didn't
guns.
Make guns. Guns.
Can we just change it where we just go Estrada?
Guns.
Estrada. Punch.
Well, the idiot triggermen dressed in drag show up at a restaurant to kill one of the lethal agents, and they accidentally kill the wrong ladies. One's a poor chick vacationing on her honeymoon, eating dinner with her husband. They kill that poor bastard too. And then they also kill a lethal agent who's deep undercover as the restaurant's hostess. Oh, and pastry chef. At one point earlier, she was complaining to her fellow lethal agent. She's like, my God, like I'm a spy 8 hours a day. Then they got me making pastries, and then I've got like a party of 20 coming in for a wedding. It's like, what kind of spy agency is this?
Good one. Guns.
Apparently, they're spies and they have day jobs.
Nope. They're
Most spies do have day jobs. That's how you make a good spy.
Yeah. They're called sleeper agents.
But why would they need to be sleeper agents?
I'm just saying, she's a pastry chef, a hostess. She's like completely wiped out. Even if like an international incident broke out, she's so tired from her day job. She can't do anything. But for once, you can't blame me for shit tonight. This is all untitled. Guns. Well, the real heroes, blonde agent Donna and brunette lethal agent Nicole, who both dress in skimpy khaki shorts with sleeveless khaki shirts.
The trademark of the lethal agents, by the way.
And white cowboy boots paired with leather utility belts.
It's the uniform.
Well, first off, they show up on the scene. They're super pissed off about their friend being killed. And second, they're both something other than what I picture in my head when I picture any kind of secret agent. But after some deep contemplation, I think I want all secret agents to dress like these chicks. It worked for me. I like the cowboy boots. Did you guys notice on their, like Schneider from One Day at a Time, like they had all these keys and like Swiss Army knives hanging from their utility belts? It was completely inconducive to like action because, first of all, you can't run around, and they do though in these cowboy boots.
You can't sneak up anybody with all those keys.
Well, I mean, it gives to the point, like, and
they had like pilot rings on their.
If they were to walk through the door, would you be like secret agents? No, you wouldn't be. You were like, really, cowboy boots, jangly keys.
I'm sorry. The same agency that puts people undercover as a nightclub singer in a bikini and a pastry chef hostess has these other agents walking around in white cowboy boots with tight little shorts and their knockers hanging out.
That's the Hawaii uniform.
I liked it. I won't watch another secret agent movie unless they're dressed like this, which luckily, if you go back and watch the other Andy Sedaris movies, they wear this shit in every single one.
Yeah, that's why I thought I'd actually seen this before once it got going.
Yeah. Well, thanks to Dega using a Jack of Diamonds playing card from the Rio Casino, that's his calling card. He gave the assassins this playing card, the Jack of Diamonds, and they stick it in one of the dead girl's boobs for Donna. They're trying to lure this Donna chick, let her know that they're coming for her. And that's what they do. We got to get to Vegas. Our busty heroes jump in a tiny plane and head to Sin City.
Yeah.
That's a good 6-hour flight, Yaks. Could they make it from Waikiki?
No, they're in a Cessna. It is impossible. This immediately reminded me of the Expendables, where they go flying in the Albatross.
That was a big
all
plane.
over the globe.
Yeah.
I'm like, because at the time I was like, oh, that's a cool looking plane, blah, blah, blah. The top speed of the Albatross is 150 miles an hour. So if you wanted to fly that plane to someplace, I don't know, like China,
Serbia,
they would be in the air longer than 24 hours.
Plus, every time that somebody gives them trouble, Statham's dumping all that fuel on them and blowing them up with a flare gun.
There was no. And then they have this giant interior cabin. It was like, no, it would literally be a tiny walkway because the whole entire plane would be nothing but fuel.
And you had Stallone.
They'll hop in this little Cessna to cross the Pacific from Hawaii. They would literally be in the air for,
a month.
Yes, because once again, it's a Cessna. It goes like maybe 152. That's it.
I just thought, because the whole plot of this movie is these planes carrying guns from China have to stop in Hawaii to refuel. And that's why he's got to get rid of these girls so he can get all the way to the United States. Gas in planes is kind of a centric plot point of this thing. And then they get in that tiny little plane and they're like, all right, let's get to Vegas.
Well, it also makes me wonder, it's like, well, you apparently you seem to be like this well-connected, arms dealer. Wouldn't it be cheaper just to buy a better plane that can actually make it without refueling?
Guns. And there's always, and then to top it off, like the pilot who should know everything, you got Stallone, dump more fuel on him. Like,
how are we going to get home? Fuel.
Dump more fuel.
In the words of the doctor, I think we're getting a little bit too far into the weeds here, and let's just call it guns.
Right. It's probably a good thing he's not here tonight.
Guns.
Dump more fuel on them.
Little more fuel. Suckers. I am approaching I'm a little past the halfway point on the
right there, wherever that's at.
Triqui Traca. Boy, it's nothing like the buildup that Adrian Barbeau gave us. To me, anyway. Man, it's just delicious. That leather. I will say, around the midway point, the spice, that initial spice on the nose, came back a little bit. I started to get a little bit of pepper on the nose. But man, that leather, that draw, the retrohale is just super, super cool. And it's playing really good with that chocolate and earthiness on the draw. I mean, it's a really tasty stick. Tut, am I crazy, or are you on the same page, Gunny?
I am on the same page. I'm a little disappointed, to be honest. Man, no, I got to couch that too. This is a very tasty cigar. It's a very delicious cigar. It's a very flavorful cigar. But I think that there's part of me that was wanting it to have a little bit more strength. That's wanting it to have a little bit more up in there, to where like it actually kind of lifts you up a little bit with its strength. And this, it doesn't kind of do that.
No,
and
it doesn't.
Kind of.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
The Brimstone. How with that double Lajero from Southern Draw, we were kind of going into it expecting just a ballsy, strengthy. Is that a word? Strengthy. Just a really strong Lajero bomb of a cigar that kicked us in the nuts, Jeff Speakman style, and it didn't. We liked it. We liked the Brimstone. But it wasn't that cigar it didn't live up to what we expected it to be, which we adjusted our expectations as we smoked it, which I think we're doing now. I'm still waiting from that Dunbarton cigar to punch me in the ball. It sounds like a weird thing to want. I'm still dying to get punched in the balls. And this isn't it. The Mi Querida wasn't it, but I liked it. And this amped up version of the Mi Querida isn't it either. But that's okay because it's like you said, it's delicious.
I know, and it feels weird. It feels weird being disappointed by wanting to get kicked in the balls by a cigar. But it's there, it's true. But this is a delicious cigar. I know people are going to go crazy for this cigar, and rightfully so. It's very flavorful.
I will say this: you guys were bigger fans of the Mi Querida than I am. Until you smoked a ton of them after that show, and I'll be honest, it's one for ranking that high on one of our best of lists, it's one that I very rarely, out of all of Steve's stuff, go back to. I like this considerably more than the Mi Querida.
I think I do too.
It's got more it's got more flavor.
I think the flavors are just more pronounced.
Yeah, it's got a better flavor profile.
Yeah.
Are you with us on this, Yak Boy?
I can agree to that. Like y'all said, I mean, its description, I don't know, maybe he was trying to sell it more to people who are just looking for the slap to the face strength. But I think that his description is correct in the amount of flavors, and he should have been trying to sell it in that description with just the complexity of that. I mean, everything that is there. I mean, but I'm like y'all. I'm like, I thought, here I'm past, I'm into that last third, and there's not this, uptick of power, but the flavors are still there on,
Oh, they're amazing.
Here's the thing, and this is, man, I would never ask this to his face or anybody else to their face, but I'm just like, why all the fluff in your description? Why not say these are your flavors, this is what you're going to do, and you can put some sexiness on that flavor, but then just say it's these flavors with an uptick in strength. If you like the Mi Querida but wish for a little bit more strength, this is going to give you a little bit more strength. It's not going to knock you in the balls. It's not going to be that powerhouse thing if you're looking for that. But if you're looking for a very flavorful cigar with pronounced flavors and a little bit stronger than that last offering, this is what it is. And that way you set the expectation right off the bat. It's the same thing with the Brimstone. The Brimstone came in and I was like, I almost wanted to give him a little bit of Robert, a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, except no, he was saying this will knock you in the balls, drag you to the other side of the state, and then kick you in the balls some more. And then I'm just like, why go through all that fluffery if it doesn't deliver that fluffery?
It may deliver it to some other palates. I'm not going to say that our expert, cigar sommelier senses are universal. There might be someone who smokes this as just eyes watering, but again, that's not what Steve said in his description. I don't want to lump it too close to the Brimstone. I'll answer for Steve because I'm just going to say I can't speak for any other blender, but I've never met anyone, and we've had Steve on the show several times. I love talking to him. I've never met anyone that loves talking about tobacco and their personal blending thought process that goes into the blend than Steve. And I think because he started out as a blogger like us, he started out writing about back in the early days cigars. I think he has a very poetic way to write about tobacco. And I think describing his cigars, I think his describing his own modus
operandi. In the
operandi.
business, it's called puffery.
In the marketing business?
Yes.
For you listeners that don't know, Tut owns his own marketing agency. Huffery.
And then, Steve, I understand your rebuttal, and I agree with your rebuttal. And I know that you're probably not going to give me your rebuttal, but I'll go ahead and give me your rebuttal. Hey, Tut, when you run a cigar business, then you can talk to me. I understand you're very successful, and I love your cigars. And just ease up on the puffery, man.
I will say it is a different reviewing experience getting that chunk of narrative going into it. I've been reviewing cigars for the last year plus for Blind Man's Puff website, where I don't know anything about the cigar. I don't know who made it. I don't know what's in it. I don't know anything. I just strictly base my review on the cigar itself. And when we come here every other week, I've got so much information given to me by manufacturers. I know the name of the guy whose dog patrols the grounds to guard the tobacco. I know so much about the goddamn cigar. It may be too much, but I will say this to your point about the huffery, Tut. I love reading Steve's stuff because I like just writing superfluously as I'm reviewing cigars. Just they bring back memories. This note will just remind me of something, and it's if you have a writer's instinct, it's a spark that a cigar can just kind of set you off on tangents. I don't think anybody writes more beautifully about their cigars than Steve. But again, He's the blender. This is his intent. Take it for what it is. Ultimately, the minute you set fire to that fucker, it's your experience. And I've yet to have.
I'm getting notes of Mississippi Pine.
Is it pine?
Reminds me of the 1986 World Series that I saw with my dad. It was just.
Do you want to start writing reviews for the website? That was pretty good.
No.
Like I said, ultimately it comes down to what we get, and I think most times with a lot of the cigars, we don't get what they want us to get, but that's not always a bad thing. We still like the Brimstone. We still are obviously.
I was about to say I feel like a total jackass because I'm giving this man shit, and I like this cigar. I really love this cigar.
Well, I'm just gonna quit. I'm just gonna quit reading his stuff then, so you can have a little more, a little less baggage going into it. But God, dog, it's a good cigar.
It is. It actually is.
And it's better. And I'm gonna just say it's better than any Mi Querida I've had, including the Firecracker, which is the genesis of the cigar. I really like the cigar, and I think I would really like the 7x64 of this cigar. I don't smoke a lot.
I look forward to.
If you mentioned that, I would like to get a hold of one.
Because I'm wondering, in that big honking sucker of a cigar, if what I liked about it would be more pronounced, but it would also give wiggle room for some other shit to come through.
I'm going to seek it out. I am actually going to seek that bad boy out. Yeah.
Okay. I'll come back to it.
And I will agree with you. This is better than the other Mi Queridas, and I like the Mi Queridas line.
Yeah, that's where our journey from here on out, the end of the year, gets interesting. That was our #1 cigar of the year a couple years ago. We had a lot of good cigars this year, boys.
Yeah,
a lot of good cigars. It's gonna be tough. We're gonna be.
I've got a lot of cigars. You know, when you like, hey, is there any cigar that you want to retaste for the
all of
the
them.
end of it? All of them.
All of them.
But then it always ends up like, did you go back and revisit all the cigars? Yeah. What'd you think? I was drinking. I think I like that one. I don't really.
No. I put it into my Excel spreadsheet here, and
you finally started that like I asked you to. Moving on. Let's get back to the movie for a little bit. Oh, and by the way, I gotta say this Squirt Gun IPA is really, man. I think the dialed down IBUs really helped me get the intent of the cigar without fucking around with it. But it's still really flavorful. Man, Real Ale kicks ass. They just make so many good beers.
They do. I agree with that.
Where the hell is Blanco, Texas?
Closer to Austin, south.
I was gonna say I live close to Austin. I never heard of it.
I say closer.
it's on the San Antonio side. Once you get
the
over
other
the
side,
west side of Austin,
South
you don't
Austin.
care about that.
You know, it's funny. You get the Amber Alerts on your phone every time something happens with a kid, and when you're driving on the highway here in Texas, they have these big billboards where they do like Amber Alerts and like Silver Alerts, like when an old person goes missing or whatever. I have yet to ever get an Amber Alert or a Silver Alert. I get it. Texas is a big state. I never have heard of any of these towns. Like Silver Alert, 1997 Mazda pickup truck, last seen in, Hold Your Balls County. And I'm like, what the fuck?
That's weird because I always get them from San Antonio or Dallas, just those two big cities.
It just shows how big the state is. I'm like, there's a city I've never heard of. Never heard of that county. I was like, I've never heard of any of these places. Anyway, it was a little.
Well, Hold Your Balls is notable for, I think it was like the 15th bank the Dalton gang robbed.
So, was that what that was?
It's got a historic downtown to it.
The Newton boys all acquired herpes in Hold Your Balls County. I kind of said that like the narrator on Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, I was about. No, Don't compare yourself to the late great Waylon Jennings.
Looks
Folks,
like these
they
looks
were
like these
holding their
boys-
own too tight.
Looks like these boys will be holding their balls for more than. I think I slipped
Folks,
it.
that's a lot of ball hauling right there. Speaking
Insert-
of ball hauling,
Yeah.
no, I was just saying, get back to the movie.
Oh, yeah.
That was my segue.
Speaking of holding your balls, French composer Philippe Leroux says that every great, memorable piece of music needs that one moment of madness. And I think it's clear in tonight's film that that special moment is the intense hot oil wrestling match between undercover lethal agent Killer Kim and a beauty named Hug Huggins.
I was rooting for Hug the whole time.
I agree. I
the
thought she had it. I thought
She
she
was the
had it.
underdog.
Yeah, but she's got some fire to her. She's got some fire to her.
Those were her boobs.
Two ginormous boobs. Just
I actually was hoping that they would have named her Huge Huggins, but Hug Huggins is okay.
It should be noted that the match itself is refereed by a red-haired mustache Jason Tuttle.
Huggins.
Dude, did that guy look just like Tut refereeing that match?
I did
It's
not
like a
see that.
Yeah,
But no, what I love more than anything else is when they do the little crowd scan, there's like an old grandma that's like right up front and center, like, get him.
Here's the deal, boys. When I was in
This
Vegas,
is 2 movies that I've been in.
I was in Vegas in 2007-ish, I guess. No, earlier than that. I don't know when. I'm horrible with dates. Me and the doctor went down there for a film festival. A film I directed was in, and part of the festival was the big videotape home video conference was going on, and they gave you a booth at the conference to sell your film to video stores and distributors. And so we had this little booth, me and the doctor hanging out there all day. We got a little TV, one of those little VCR TV combos, playing our trailer over and over again. I think we mentioned on the show before, we met John Cryer, Ducky there. He interviewed us for Extra. Kevin Smith we hung out with. But the dudes next to us had this terrible film. These 2 filmmakers. They had this atrocious film, but they would always come in the next day just completely, like we drank our fucking faces off every night we were in Vegas. These guys would come in and we're like, man, what were you guys doing? Like it was like 3 or 4 days. So we got to know these 2 knuckleheads. And we were staying, we were lucky enough to stay at the Venetian where the convention was taking place. These guys were like, man, you guys are missing out. They were staying at Mickey Gilley's. I guess he had a hotel and casino somewhere down in old Vegas. But they would tell us about these oil wrestling matches. Every night they had these oil wrestling matches at Mickey Gilley's. And you got to imagine there was old, like you said, old ladies that are sitting there with their slot machines that just spin their stool around and watch these big titty chicks just beat the shit out of each other. I love this scene. I love it. Tut, you and I tried to make a movie many years ago where I had a huge mud wrestling scene in it. I just
Officiated by the late great Rowdy Piper.
Yeah, Rowdy Piper was going to be. I had approached the main man Rowdy to be the referee in the scene. God, it would have been great. Real quick though, that guy that looked like Tut.
Now I'm sad.
That guy that looked like Tut with the red afro. I looked him up. His name's David Hayter. He went on to be one of the most successful boom operators in Hollywood to this day, with over 100 TV shows. And like, you name a big budget movie, Hollywood blockbuster, he's the fucking boom operator, Yaks. That's what you do when we travel. He's like the Spielberg of boom operators. So Tut, there is hope for you yet. You could turn into something here, boy.
I've just been like, wow, they've got my doppelganger on 2 of these movies that we've done.
Hey, what was the other one?
Slugs.
You were at the bar in
The
Slugs.
bar and slugs.
You had a black afro and a giant handlebar mustache. That's right. I love the girls' dialogue as they shower after their oil wrestling match. Hug Huggins says her boyfriend doesn't want her to oil wrestle anymore because he doesn't think it's dignified, to which undercover lethal secret agent Killer Kim says, well, a blowjob isn't dignified, but I'm guessing he doesn't have a problem with that. Fair point, I suppose. But there's two male lethal agents watching them shower for some reason. That makes no sense. They're just like watching them. And when they say that thing about blowjobs, they look at you like, no, that's not. That's not the same thing. No. Which on the surface, I didn't really think about it. But then I was like, why were they watching them shower?
Are they watching?
Like,
Guns.
guns.
Well, I guess at this point, because of the necessary, what needs to be able to do while being a lethal agent, that they pretty much just walk around nude anyway. So those guys are basically just used to seeing them naked.
Plus, they just had an agent killed, so security has been raised.
Oh, they're making sure nobody kills these. Okay. I still have to ask, I mentioned earlier, what kind of intelligence agency places their undercover sleeper agents as pastry chefs and oil wrestlers?
The best damn undercover agency ever.
An organization named Lethal. That's who. Lethal Ladies. And by the way, it took me, I'm not bullshitting you here. I give it straight to you boys every week when we do this. It took me at least an hour and a half on Google to find out what lethal stands for. Because they never say it in the movie. I watched two other Lethal Ladies movies. IMDb, Wikipedia.
Cade was wading through the dark web.
Nowhere do they tell you what the fuck lethal means. And finally, on some obscure thing, I found Legion to ensure total harmony in law. And you guys were okay with that one, although you had all these problems with my names.
Well, I mean, it would have been different if they were, it was some acronym for boob or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, like our acronym?
That would have been if Cade made the acronym for lethal.
Yeah.
Tits.
A little too on the nose there, Cade.
If we're lucky. So essentially, this scattershot team of acid-wash, jean-wearing slapdicks and top-heavy babes gather together in Vegas to use their collective secret agent powers to take down Dega before he can get his hands on a large shipment of Chinese machine guns coming to America. And as Tut said, we know they're Chinese because they have a big red sticker or a big yellow sticker on the gun stock.
Oh, it was red.
Well, I mean,
it was red. Chinese red.
You know what? I mean, I would have really liked to have seen him like they had like captured him at an airport or something. They tear open the crates and he's like, removed the stickers. These aren't Chinese guns.
No.
It'll take at least weeks before forensics comes back with a match on these weapons.
Thought I saw a star there. I guess my biggest thing was I didn't really get why he was bringing them into America. Like, are there a bunch of Well, no. Like,
well, remember, we're coming off of the 80s where apparently downtowns were war zones. You needed to funnel guns into America.
oh yeah, these guys are the guys fighting Bronson in Death Wish 3.
Uh-huh.
They need rocket launching machine guns.
You saw the gang warfare in Predator 2. That thing was going nuts. You saw what RoboCop had to deal with.
That's true. Eric Estrada's
Also, RoboCop gun, if we're going to talk about guns. That's another one.
Eric Estrada's going to make a fortune off these guns. You're right. I wasn't putting myself in the context of 1990, cinema 1990 accurately.
Also, every sportsman in America who will need one for duck hunting.
Of course.
That is true.
I love how the guy that's part of the podcast who has the most guns is given a little slap to the Second Amendment guys. Good job, Yax. Nicely done.
You need this bazooka for duck hunting.
Ducks. Slugs.
Mallards.
Slugs.
Mallards. Okay, well, TNA wise, there are several sets of enormous knockers on display throughout the film. I counted 7 sets or pairs to be exact. Mostly we see them in dressing rooms or showers, although we do get to see some nice ones in a steamy bedroom scene with Eric Estrada himself. Only, unlike most low-budget films we dive into, these are extremely top shelf, top of the class melons, courtesy of Playboy Playmates and Penthouse Pets. There's no baloney tits here. There's no Podunk, Arkansas, titty bar tits on display. Andy Sedaris gets the best of the best, and I give him props to that. Sorry, Tud. I know those were your preferred titties back on the Travis Tritt tour, but you're not in Little Rock anymore, pal.
I still like them au naturel.
What do you guys think about the Baloney Tits podcast? BTP. Actually, that's terrible. I wouldn't listen to that podcast.
No,
that's terrible.
No.
We're just gonna stick with Tuesday Night Cigar Club. It's easy. We're lazy.
That's a demographic of listeners that I don't really want to explore.
I really want. No shit. I've been waiting for a podcast about baloney tits. And here, all they do is make fun of me for liking them. Thank you for joining us on the Baloney Tit podcast. Why are you here? They're the worst. They're the worst type of titties. I'm going to keep listening because you guys are the only one in the market, but God damn, you guys are assholes. So TNA wise, A+. Action wise, there's plenty of chase scenes, often involving airplanes, helicopters, and motorcycles. The chase scenes are decently enough choreographed, and the use of aircraft and aerial footage from those, they certainly add a nice touch to the feel of the flick. And it makes the budget, probably a very minuscule budget, seem a lot bigger than it is.
Yeah.
Not probably a minuscule budget. These things were made on a minuscule budget. And Lethal Lady Donna really likes to blow shit up with a sweet rocket launcher as well. We'll get more on that later. Oh, and speaking of action, out of fucking nowhere, about halfway through the film, some ninjas show up who are the worst trained ninjas ever. One of them's carrying like a billy
dressed
club.
like a ninja.
Yeah, one's like wearing sneakers with his ninja costume. He's carrying like a billy club. It's not even like a thing.
Also, I want to know, why is all of the equipment in this gym pink? There were so many questions.
There was a lot of questions.
But I will say this scene did at least provide one of the most hilarious sayings for this movie.
What's that?
After the ninjas are attacking the two dudes and they're like kicking their ass, all of a sudden out of nowhere, the girl comes out with the just enormous hand cannon. The guy's like, the ninja's all like, "Hey-ya." She's like, "Hey-ya, your ass." And just blows his chest out. Thank God I wasn't drinking milk.
Yax, would you say those are the worst ninjas you've ever seen on film?
Yes.
Yeah. The movie ends with us learning that not only there was one group of people who were more poorly trained than the ninjas, the lethal ladies and boys. They can't shoot anything. Like there's so many shootouts. The bullets are going just everywhere but their targets. So our government is spending millions to keep these sleeper agents, and they are just terrible. They're just terrible. Guns.
I was enjoying all of these scenes quite immensely.
I will say this: they're all missing shit except Donna, the blonde lethal agent, who blasts Eric Estrada away in the final moments with not one, but 3 rockets from her rocket launcher. And it was a good. Andy Sedaris blows up bodies really good. Like, even when the thing explodes, you can see the dummy's legs like they're actually blowing up something that looks kind of like a person.
Well, I will rewind just a second because as Danny Trejo is portraying a villain, every time he portrays a villain, he dies. That's just it's in his contract.
Yeah.
That was one of the things he always said. If I'm as a bad guy, I want people to know that the bad guy doesn't win. So I want my character to die.
You had a problem with how he died in this movie?
Oh, did I? The fact that the trellis from the soundstage just collapsed right onto him.
Well, it collapsed because the lethal agent, Shane, firing at him, didn't know how to fire his gun. And instead of shooting straight ahead, he was shooting up everywhere. And it just happened to shoot down this giant lighting scaffolding that crushed Danny. And then Shane gave it like a little look like, We're gonna get to
It was like a fight scene from a G.I. Joe cartoon. There's the little lasers shooting everywhere, but no one's getting hit.
Oh, it was like stormtroopers, dude. Yeah.
Stormtroopers at least shot and they got next to you.
But hey, the end of our film, Eric Estrada gets blown to smithereens by 3 rockets. I mean, that was kind of cool.
It was.
She should have said, "Here's 4 of a kind."
But she had already used 1. There was only 3.
3 of a kind.
And then she says, "Guns." Am I the only one? And I don't like.
Hey,
this.
Dega, this pair is more than a handful. 2.
This will make you flush. Huh? There weren't nearly. I think we're saying there wasn't nearly enough card one-liners based on a deck of cards.
Well, that was Dega's thing. Was always leaving the cards around.
Don't ever underestimate the Joker. He's wild.
The Joker's not the only thing wild, Dega.
Oh, there you go.
I like it.
That's what his mistress should have said. She was always trying to get him in bed, and when she finally did, time to show you the Joker's not the only thing wild. Gah! See? Me and Andy Sedaris, man, we can make some magic.
Maybe we should make one of these movies. We got a camera. Shart ladies. No.
Some short.
No, nobody's gonna watch that. Queef Patrol. I'm almost done with this. How you guys doing?
Yeah, me too.
You want to talk price point? Speaking of point.
Oh.
Terrible. It's actually for a 5-inch cigar. It seems like it's been burning kind of slow.
Well, I've also been like really disciplined and not doing my normal thing to it. I've actually been trying to hang in there. It's not burning my fingers, so I think I've been doing good.
Man, construction.
That's what my man Blanco said. I will go 13.25.
13.25. Okay.
I don't know. 5-inch. 10.
Nothing wrong with 5 inches.
$9.50.
There's like a $4 difference between you guys. What was your thought process with 13.25? Because that's what you'll pay for like one of his Muestra de Sacas.
Oh, really?
I think. I mean, I think those are like his cream of the crop, regular production things, and but if you're saying that's what you would pay for, that's high praise.
I probably would pay for it.
Okay. I would
mainly because that the flavor profile that's present throughout the entire dang thing, knowing the construction of what this thing goes through. First of all, the way it's constructed, I'm always going to err on the high side because it's such a good quality construction. Yeah. Time is spent on this thing. And then knowing Saka from our interviews, knowing the care that he puts into choosing his tobaccos, I'm going to err on the high side there.
That makes sense. I mean, I get that. I would probably go. Let me take one more puff here.
There's 3 people in this industry that I absolutely believe them when they say, I don't mark up things just to mark up. I'm not going to be marking up things just to put a premium or to make an exclusive type situation. And Steve's one of them. I don't think that, except, I mean, even when he does his unicorn, he is like, I am trying to make it this ridiculous expensive. And this is what it took to make it this expensive.
This is why it's $100.
I don't think he made an $8. Yeah, I don't think he made an $8 cigar, slapped $100 sticker on it, and called it a day. I think he actually knows his craft to where he actually built that $100 cigar.
No, I agree with that. Who's your other 2 guys you believe?
Robert Holt and Skip.
Okay. I would probably say 1075.
1075? All right.
Let me look in my notes. I win. 1075.
Damn, you're good. Damn.
Right in the middle, you boys. I would win Price is Right. And we're going to have, that's going to tie into something I'm going to tell you guys later, but that ties into Price is Right. Yeah, 1075. That's a good price for the stick.
Dude, are you getting the Blinko girl from Price is Right on the show?
No.
Okay.
I'm getting the guy who does.
Away, but
I'm getting the guy who does the yodeling for the Plinko guy.
That is also awesome.
It's my uncle. And he touched me when I was younger. So we're going to get into some really dark shit on that show. Prepare yourselves.
I knew that was coming.
Prepare yourselves.
Cody, I was going to say good luck on that show, but you know what? I'm not going to let you do that alone, brother.
Thank you. That will be episode 128. We're going to call that one The Price Was Wrong.
The wrong price.
The wrong price. Yeah, 1075. And I'm totally okay with that. It sounds like you were real close, Yak, so you're probably okay with that. Tut, that's a couple bucks.
Yeah, I'm definitely okay with that.
Remember this, folks, when purchasing some fine Dunbarton or other premium cigars from FamousSmokeShop.com, these were generously provided to us by Steve. But when you go to FamousSmokeShop.com to buy some Triqui Traca, use your new favorite promo code TNCC20 at checkout. It will knock $20 off your purchase of $100 or more. That's like 20%. Tut, you're in college now. 20%?
It's like $20.
Hey, there's nothing tricky about that.
And the cool thing is, you don't even have to enter the promo code. If you go to our website first, click on the banner there, do your shopping, it automatically enters it.
Isn't
cool as that?
Do
you know how I know this? Do you know how I know this?
How?
Because just last night, I made that order. And I made my selection. I was like, I'll take this little 10-pack here. I'll take this little bundle of 10 here. And it ended up being $99-something. And I was like, crap. Well, I'm just going to have to get this 5-pack here.
But if you go to on the Famous Smoke Shop website, you click over on Cigar Monster, you can grab a 5-pack with free shipping. Put you right over 100, but you're getting free shipping now and $20 off. Now you're cooking. Now
I should have done that. Oh man, amateur hour.
I've only said it like 1,000 times.
I know, and I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, always, if you're buying from Famous, head over to Cigar Monster. Look for just something you might want to try out for like
just something,
$20. But
dude, just something alone. The shipping alone, because I always do like 2 days shipping. I can't wait. I need that extra 2 days, which is about $16 coming to this house.
Oh God, Tut, you're
like, oh,
my
yeah.
God, man. Yeah, get the free shipping, and you
right.
get a nice handful of cigars, for $80 with our discount. Free shipping, boom. FamousSmokeShop.com. I will say, I lit up as my follow-up cigar a original Sober Mesa Short Churchill, which granted are a little more action-packed than the regular line Sober Mesas, but it is got the tingling nose spice
right there,
and the pepper that they're. It's Big Brother, the big broadleaf bully, the Triqui Traca was.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting, but the Short Churchill actually has more of a immediate impact upon setting fire to
the
it.
funny thing is that I like the fact that it didn't go with that spice on the nose. It literally left me speechless for a good minute or two, just soaking that in. I mean, I literally had to soak in the flavor of the cigar because I was just like, wow, this is so far outside of what I was expecting. So what am I dealing with here? So I respect that.
It's funny how cigars.
I really hope that's what he was going for.
Well, it's what we got, so it's honest. No fake news here. It is weird how movies very rarely tend to do that. From the trailer and the poster, you kind of know what you're getting with a movie. Occasionally, one will slip through that gives you something different and a surprise or two. But cigars, more often than not, they can completely just spin your head as far as a different smoking experience than what you're advertised. I love it. I like that mystery aspect to it. All right, well, let's talk about we've talked a lot about Eric Estrada and Danny Trejo.
We haven't talked enough about Danny Trejo.
Let's talk about some of the other casts. George Chung rocks as Sifu, a fellow international criminal who does business with Dega. And he's the one selling him these Chinese weapons, and he's awesome as always. Did you recognize him, Ted?
I recognized him as someone I should recognize, and sadly, I did not.
He's been in a gazillion things, but he was the VC commander in Rambo 2 who gets shot with the explosive arrow.
Yes,
I knew I should have known that. I knew.
As soon as I saw him, all those background guys. This was one of them. I'm like, oh my God, it's him.
He's always there. He's like Endo from Lethal Weapon and Die Hard. Like he just always is in these movies. But his expression when he hears that explosive arrow released is like, oh shit. Like he'll always be the guy that gets blown to Kingdom Come in Rambo Part 2. Bruce Penhall plays the lady's fellow secret agent Bruce. He's the guy that's always in the bare-chested and the leather vest, the blonde, kind of short guy. What's notable about him is that he played young rookie cop and I immediately recognized him as Officer Bruce Nelson on Chips. The last maybe two seasons of Chips, he was the young rookie motorcycle cop. So I don't know if he pulled some strings to get Officer Poncherello in this thing or what, but because he's in all the other Lethal movies as well.
Yeah.
Also shirtless, wearing vests. Not that I was keeping tabs on him, because that'd be a weird thing to keep tabs on.
We kept tabs on Wilder.
Undercover Vegas, the lead agent, Lucas, is played by William Bullmiller. Did you guys recognize him?
I thought I should recognize this guy, and I almost dressed up with the sweater over the top. That was one of my outfits.
He was the gym owner in one of our favorite fitness-based horror flicks, Death Spa.
Yes,
that makes sense.
He was the dude.
That makes sense.
Everyone kept dying in his fucking gym, but he just like, I gotta keep the doors open.
Keep it open.
The one really cool thing about him in this movie is he has a giant muscle-bound meathead named Brown follow him around everywhere, lighting his cigarettes for him. I've always wanted one of those, a cigarette lighting guy.
Okay, I was about to say that's kind of racist, dude. You can't.
Oh no, I don't.
say
I
that
don't.
now.
No. I don't care if he's white or
And
black.
the other thing
Oh,
we
okay.
forgot about George was
Yes,
he
I
was
know.
also Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes, he's one of the Sings, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, he's in everything.
All right. Speaking of Brown, was Brown in anything I might have recognized? Because he seemed like he was kind of
I'm gonna get to Brown in just a minute, and
okay.
you'll be glad you waited for this, and you at home will be glad you're waiting for who exact. He's a very small character. He lights cigarettes, and he's
I
a
like Brown, man.
very very muscular dude.
He's a huge dude. But one of the things I loved is that there's one time where he comes into the scene, just gun drawn, like everything like this, and then like all the action is gone, and everybody just kind of puts their weapon down, but not Brown. Brown's like, it is so over the top.
By the way, much like Bruce in the movie is played by an actor named Bruce Brown, his real name is Brown. Like, it was just easier for the director to just name these people their real names.
Yeah.
But you are going to want to hear the story about the actor playing Brown. Bear with me.
All right.
Tut, did you recognize Donna's lovely mother, Catherine Hamilton, the kidnapped Nevada Attorney General? You have to have recognized her.
Yeah, I did.
This might be
it was
the
Playboy 1978.
This might be the one thing you miss on the podcast in 127 episodes where you literally get up and walk away that you didn't recognize somebody. Because it makes sense that Yak Boy and I didn't recognize her, but you will never forgive yourself for this.
I can forgive myself for a lot of things, so
You have.
I'm kind of curious.
You've told me that you've been able to forgive yourself for a lot of things.
Okay.
Well, she was played by an actress named Phyllis Davis, who was a regular on your favorite TV show of all time, Magnum PI, where she played a Waikiki call girl named Cleo Mitchell, who married Rick in the series finale.
Where have you been, Tut? Where have you been?
He's leaving. He's leaving. Guy says it's his favorite TV show. Doesn't even recognize a major character. He's taking off the tie. He's taking off the bolo tie.
Oh, God. No. Leave it on. It's too late. No.
He couldn't get up. It's a part of him now.
Well, this will also make you happy. Going back to George.
When
one
I
of our
said
favorite movies ever.
when I said that, did it
Pride
ring a bell?
movie?
Yeah, Tut, when I said that, did it ring a bell?
Huh?
Do you
No.
remember Rick's wedding in the final episode?
No. I just lost all of my Magnum PI cred.
Yeah, you're gonna get kicked out of the
No, not
Magnum
not
PI.
really.
You're gonna get kicked out of the
Not
Magnum
really.
PI fan message boards.
No,
You can
I've
go
got so
inside.
much. I've got so much goodwill established from my Higgins love. They'll understand.
Look, you're going to go inside. You're going to put on those 4-inch inseam OP corduroy shorts, and it's all going to go away. It's all going to go away.
That is
Hey.
correct.
You're gonna go inside, put on that Detroit Lions hat, whack off to Simon and Simon, and that's all you're gonna do. He's a Simon and Simon. He's a Simon and Simon man now.
Actually, sounds like a good night.
Or the very least you can do is just watch the Simon and Simon and Magnum PI crossover, and you'll be done.
No, that was the that's what birthed them.
They started in Magnum PI.
I believe so.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever watch Riptide?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
Wait
guys
a
like
minute.
Riptide?
No, I'm sorry. I watched Tropic Thunder Bay.
that's nothing near Rip.
No, it's not.
That was the one with Hulk Hogan.
Yes, that was the one with Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
And they're just terrible.
Yeah, watch that one.
Riptide was.
I also like the one with Rowdy Piper and Jesse the Body. That was pretty cool.
That did not get the attention it deserved. I'll agree with you on that one. No, Riptide was Joe Perry and Perry King,
Yes.
and it was phenomenal. And I was a fan because Perry King comes from my birthplace, a little town in Ohio, and his parents were friends with my grandparents. And when he would come into town over the years, he would stay at my grandparents' house. We have all these pictures of Perry King from Riptide hanging out at my grandparents' house. And when I caught up after Riptide, he kind of showed up like in like Melrose Place and some other like stuff. But I was always like, yeah, by all accounts, a very nice man. Otherwise, my grandparents would not have let him stay at their house. Did you guys like the California Kid?
I did like the California Kid.
There's a scene in the movie, folks, where our heroes get stranded out in the desert. Their van gets blown up by a helicopter, and this drag race car pulls up and it's like, "You guys need a lift?" I'm like, "Who are you?" "I'm the California Kid. Let's go."
I'm the California Kid.
So they throw this giant trunk of guns that they carry everywhere in the trunk, and the California Kid takes them into the city. The California Kid was played by Sedaris's son, Christian Sedaris, who also served as assistant director on all of his father's films. So that's why I mentioned that. It was a family affair. Mom produced, dad directed, Christian assistant director. I liked it. All right. I hardly ever look up trivia on the films we showcase, but for some reason I did tonight, and I think I was trying to find out what the hell lethal stood for, so I did a little deeper research than I usually do, and I found these two juicy nuggets regarding two of our actors, one of which you've asked for, Tut, so I'm going to share it. I'll start with John Brown, who played the character of Brown. He was a highly touted freshman running back who many analysts believed would be the number one pick in the 1990 NFL draft by the Houston Oilers. Ignoring his agent's advice, Brown decided to take a small, meaningless role in tonight's film just weeks before the draft. While filming a fight scene, Brown was to kick through a door. The stunt effects team, I think it was in the gym when he punches through that door.
Yeah.
The stunt effects team failed to swap that door to a breakaway panel, resulting in Brown kicking clean through a mahogany door, tearing his ACL, his MCL, his Achilles, and his kneecap.
Oh, man.
After 6 years of grueling rehab, Brown ended up playing 2 games as a backup for the Edmonton Eskimos up in Canada, where he ran for 17 yards on 9 carries. That's less than that's like a yard a carry.
Oh,
what a sad story
that is.
I will choose to remember John Brown for the super rad white and pink workout unitard he wore in this film. Yes. Nobody other than maybe myself could fill out that unitard the way he did, and I will applaud him for putting his Hollywood dreams above. Hey, we've seen running backs come and go, man. He is always going to be in this movie. I think he made the right call.
I disagree.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Film is forever.
Is it?
Yeah, but he made a couple bucks on this movie.
Well, if nothing else,
isn't that the craziest story you ever heard?
That is horrible.
The terriblest story I've ever heard.
It's incredible.
If nothing else, you know what? Even if you didn't get to play, even if you didn't even get to try out, how do you explain to someone, I could have done something, but I kicked a door that wasn't supposed to be was supposed to break away, but I literally kicked through a real door and tore my entire leg up.
What movie was it? Terminator 2? Guns.
That's horrible, man. Oh my God, it's horrible.
It is a terribly sad story. I'm just trying to give him some kind of golden, hey, let's say you had a 3-year career, which is good for running back in the NFL. Nobody's going to remember you. We watched you and enjoyed you in Guns, so it wasn't for naught.
Well, please tell me.
It is true.
I've got an even crazier story.
If we could at least run into him at least one time and be like, at least tell me you slept with some of the large-breasted women from the film. Oh, I slept with all of them. Then you have accomplished something.
There you go. All right.
Thank you, sir.
I didn't think that story could be topped until I uncovered this gem. The role of Abe, the older chunky agent who performs magic tricks to get his perps to talk while under interrogation before blasting them wide open with a sweet ass silver shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
I like that shotgun a lot. Well, that role was originally cast with a different actor. Chuck McCann, the guy who played Abe, was in Honolulu with his wife. He had won an all-expense-paid trip to Hawaii on The Price is Right after winning both showcase showdowns. The movie was shooting at his hotel in Hawaii when a series of misunderstandings, I couldn't figure out what these misunderstandings were, resulted in him shooting scenes throughout the entire picture. It wasn't until the editing process that director Andy Sedaris realized he'd never cast Chuck McCann in the role and had never spoke to him on set.
What the hell?
That can't be right. He's in so much of this movie.
And he's the director.
Who the fuck is this guy?
I've got 20 scenes with this guy. Who is he? I never cast this guy. I wasn't on set for these days.
And he wasn't bad. It was weird that he it was weird.
No,
it was weird that he wasn't like, the beefcake that everybody else was.
But
all of a sudden you got this chunky dude in there, this chunky middle-aged guy.
He is an actor. He's got a long...
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was like... He
wasn't just a tourist that was just...
That's what I was thinking. I was like, how the hell did that happen?
No. He was an actor vacationing with his wife on Price is Right's dime. But the legend says when Sedaris went back and watched the film, he's like, who is this guy? I don't know how that's possible. He's in so many scenes.
Yeah,
but
I'm calling BS
if
on
any
fake
movie,
news.
If there's any movie,
there is an answer for this. There's an answer for this right now. Guns.
It's called Blow.
If there's any movie that could happen, it would be this movie, though.
Sedaris is like, you just don't understand the copious amount of blow that was there.
That might be the craziest piece of movie trivia I've ever read. I got in the editing booth and I started watching this stuff, and this guy's in 20% of the scenes, and I'd never seen him before. Especially, there's a 3-minute scene where this big boob chick is running this remote controlled boat, cold beers out to this actor as he's fishing. How do you not like what? Andy has like a huge magic act. Like
he's one of the characters. I mean, he's one of the team.
Yes.
This isn't like just some 3 seconds as a B stand-in, dude.
I could see that happening with us on one of our little short films or whatever. Like, Tut, like, who's that? You're like,
I don't know. I thought you got him.
He's just in the footage. I don't, because we drink so much. I just thought those two little trivia bits. I'm like, holy shit! Maybe I should have be looking this shit up for every movie, because
it's that stuff that gives the character.
Oh my god! You got the sad story of John Brown. You got the inexplicably crazy story of Chuck McCann. All right. Moving on from the cast. Favorite scenes in the movie. I have.
Oh,
Did I forget somebody you want to talk about?
No. Go ahead.
I got 2 favorite scenes in the movie.
All right.
The first is where agents Bruce and Nicole are hanging out in the desert for some reason. He's just standing there looking ahead at nothing while wearing a leather vest with no shirt underneath. for some reason. And she's sunbathing on top of a motorcycle in a leather bikini for some reason. There's some tender music playing as Bruce turns to Nicole and tells her, fate stepped in and it made sure that you weren't killed in the restaurant. That first scene in the film. You're meant to do something special with your life. Nicole says, well, I better watch my ass then. To which Bruce says, I think I can help you with that. And then the music switches because I watch with subtitles on. It says music switches to desirable music.
Desirable.
And she puts Bruce's hand on her boob and they end up doing it on top of the motorcycle. I like that scene a lot. Did you guys like that scene?
I actually thought that was the prettiest scene in the entire
that sunset
movie.
That desert sunset.
There's a sunset directly behind them. The camera is shot off in the distance, looking directly at the motorcycle with the sun directly behind them. So it is just a beautiful silhouette of this beautiful orange red hues. But it's by far the prettiest, most artistic scene.
It was John Ford, Terrence Malick-esque.
It didn't. One question that I had, I was like, well, how far off into the desert are they?
And why were they out there? There was no reason for them to be out.
I was waiting like they're. For some reason, my brain just said, okay, this beautiful sunset, the silhouette of them making love on the motorcycle, and then I was just waiting for like a car to drive by.
The California kid. He's come back around.
Like
I had a.
Yeah, you're literally off on the shoulder of the highway. Why didn't you go drive out into the desert? But I was like, well, wait a second. What? Why are they here?
Guns.
That was the only thing I couldn't figure out.
Guns.
There was no, because they actually really struggled to get into the city from the desert when their van got blown up and their motorcycle got blown up. And then as soon as they got back there, they jumped on the motorcycle and went back out into the desert to screw.
Yes, it was like there was no context for this scene. Yeah. I was like, okay, so you want to have a love scene, but what's the context? I was like, you meet up. She gives a call in to the headquarters, come pick me up or something, and no, it just sexy silhouette naked motorcycle scene.
He picked her up.
There you go. I have two scenes and I can't make up my mind which one I like better. One is the obvious, you alluded to it earlier. The death by motorized motor remote control boat, where McCann is out there fishing and he's like, hey baby, give me another beer. And this girl puts a beer on the motorized boat, runs it out to him. He picks it up. It's tied to a hand grenade, blows up. I was like, that's probably the most TNCC scene of the.
Actually, it was very TNCC because it was literally 90 seconds after he had her drive another beer out to him. She put a beer on the boat, sent it out to him across the lake. He's chugging it. She gets killed, and then the assassin, hey baby, send me another beer over here. It's been less than 2 minutes. He's clearly an alcoholic.
Well, it was Bud Light. I mean, so
that's true.
You don't drink those fast out there.
I mean,
the second scene is
he deserved to die for drinking bad beer.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's the reason why he drank it so fast.
Oh, okay.
The second scene, which I'm probably leaning a little bit more to, is the scene where Donna, the big boobed, brown haired girl, is washing her hands in the restroom.
That's Nicole. Nicole's the
Nicole. So she's sitting there washing her hands in the restroom. One of the assassins comes in drag and starts washing her hands right next to her.
His hands.
And it's obviously a guy in a wig with makeup on. There's no way that this is not a passable trans. It's a dude with a wig. Mm-hmm. And she looks over at him and then just back to her hands. Oh, nothing strange there. And then looks over and then she sees obvious man hands, except it's got the tattoo of the assassin on there. She recognizes the tattoo, and that's what clues her to something's wrong. Not the fact that there's this dude in a wig right next to her, but just the assassin tattoo.
I did
read that scene cracked me up.
There was one
piece. There was 6'5" female with 5 o'clock shadow.
That
problem.
Exactly.
To kind of explain why she didn't pick up on these other signs and why they make some really boneheaded moves. There was another piece of trivia I read where the government recruited for the Lethal Ladies squad, primarily from Stephen F. Austin University. That was kind of their pool of where they went for there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'll say this before I ask you, Yax, I did have a second favorite scene. I couldn't just pick one. And that would be at the beginning of the final act as the Lethal team prepares for all-out war with the Jack of Diamonds. This is after our boy gets killed in the boat and things are getting serious. Shane opens up the giant red clunky trunk they carry around everywhere so he can hand everyone their gun for the huge mission. Because as top secret agents, they don't get to carry just whatever gun they want. He's got to give it to them. Only he hands everyone a tiny 22 caliber pistol, way smaller than anything else they've been using throughout the entire movie, and no extra clips or anything. Just like, here's your tiny gun. Oh, here's your tiny gun.
And they carry those around in this trunk chest that takes 2 people to lift.
Except for himself, he assigns him a big ass honking 357, which, as I mentioned, we'll learn later, he has no idea how to shoot the thing. I just love that this top secret government agency with their own airplanes and a budget to keep their agents undercover in Vegas and Hawaii for years at a time keeps all their guns in this child's bright red trunk that you can buy at Hobby Lobby for $45. And there's not like any cool padding in there. Like they're just like piled on. As their leader, Lucas, dude, the boss man, Lucas, he's like, you need a gun? He's like, I got it. He opens up this blazer like Tut's wearing. He doesn't have a shoulder holster. It's tucked in the little pocket, like the handkerchief pocket.
They didn't have the budget for that.
No. I keep my tiny gun in my tiny coat pocket the way I like it. It's so unintentionally hilarious. This is like the scene where it's like, they're arming up. This is badass. It's hysterical. And even Tong, Danny Trejo, who works for one of the world's biggest arms dealers, he carries a tiny little gun. He's got a little wiener pistol in that shootout.
Yeah.
I guess for a movie called Guns, I would have liked to see better guns. They should have just called the movie Jugs.
I can live with it. Jugs.
Perhaps.
How do we solve this problem? Jugs.
Yax, your favorite scenes, or do we somehow miraculously cover them?
No. Go back all the way. For whatever reason, the shemale assassins, when they're just normal dudes, but they're talking to Estrada's and character, and they're like pitching these ideas to kill the lady. I'm like, they're like it's like, okay, these are the assassins. All right, so check this out. We're going to come in. We're going to do a song and a dance. We're going to they're selling this. We're going to kill her like this. And I mean, even he, like you said, Strada's character, like, well, just be cerebral. Just shoot her in the fucking head. Like,
yeah. Oh, we got transistors.
But you can just kind of see like the disappointment in their faces, like, oh, all right, fine.
And the funny thing about them is, you think since he's making them just shoot them boring, the most boring way to kill somebody, that they dress up in drag just to make it more interesting. But then later in the movie, they're dressing up in drag just to go have a drink at a bar. They're actually cross-dressers.
Yes. So I was just like, the concept that these guys are just like, all right, here's what we're going to, it was like they were trying to concoct this like Rube Goldberg death sequence. So she's going to come out. She's going to slip on the banana peel, fall into you're just like, wait, no, what? I was interested. Like, I want to actually see this happen.
No, Yax, you said something to me on the phone the other day. You said they were the used car salesman of Assassin, like the way they were trying to sell their talents. Yeah, they're actually very entertaining in their kind of sleaziness and their goofballness. But yeah, and I will say this: maybe I have a third favorite scenes. I loved every scene with that big titty chick singing on stage at that nightclub. Because she is singing the most horrible music, doing the most horrible choreography.
No fun. Guns. They're no fun.
But I'm watching her because she has these huge, enormous.
I was about to say horrible choreography. I thought it was pretty top notch.
Okay. I'm just saying if I paid $30 for a seat in the VIP section. But what I loved most about it was they would cut out to the audience and there would be like a 60-year-old man and his wife, and the wife would be like it's the greatest fucking show they've ever seen. And I'm just picturing me taking my wife to this goddamn show.
Vegas, baby. Vegas.
No, not Vegas, dude. That would never, ever. No. But these people were loving it.
Off strip Vegas.
Oh my God, they were loving it.
Possibly, yes.
And I said the most horrible music, but I've been singing that gun song in my head for like 3 days.
It's no fun. It's no fun.
She was amazing on stage. You know what else is amazing, fellas?
What's that?
Glad you guys asked. Of course, I'm talking about the Pappy Van Winkle Family Reserve Barrel Fermented Cigar by Drew Estate. The Pappy Van Winkle Family Reserve Barrel Fermented is a long filler premium cigar rolled in limited quantities at La Gran Fabrica Drew Estate in Estelí, Nicaragua. Deep barrel fermentation is the key process that makes this expression vastly different from anything else on the market. Hand-selected leaves from Kentucky are packed into small torquettes, or bundles, as we learned earlier from our boy Trace Atkins, which are then loaded strategically into oak bourbon barrels. Water is then added, while immense pressure is applied to the torquettes via railroad jacks. The tobacco is removed 2-3 times per year, shaken out, then repacked. Tut, we've seen these men, and I say men, do this process, and it's nothing wimps like us could do.
I'm definitely not going to jack with them.
No, absolutely. Nice. The tobacco, like I said, is removed 2-3 times per year, shaken out, repacked by these men. The total process fermentation takes 12 to 18 months, leaving a truly unique flavor profile and aroma. The Pappy Van Winkle's Family Reserve Barrel Fermented is now available at every brick and mortar Drew Diplomat retailer everywhere. And this is important: if you would like to smoke the best presentation of this blend, the unique pig-sized. Everybody associates pig size with Drew Estate, and you should. If you want to get the pig-sized Vitola of the Pappy, head over to pappyco.com and give the Pappy sisters some of your money, because that's the only place you'll find it. And the sisters are really good people, and it's always nice when you spend money to know it's going to some good people. And they're very sweet, it's an awesome family.
And
I'm not just saying
unlike
that.
guns, the Pappy Van Winkle is fun.
Mm-hmm. And I don't just say nice things about those girls. Maybe they'll send me a bottle of.
You keep hoping.
Ultimately, boys, these triple B movies filled with bullets, bombs, babes, and boobs. I think that was actually 4 Bs. The quadruple B movies were made to entertain us without asking anything of us as an audience member. All we have to do is press play, relax, and let Andy Sedaris work his magic. If you like big-breasted chicks running around in white cowboy boots, if you like hard-bodied studs and acid-wash jeans, looking confused by anything and everything going on around them, you will love Guns. These Sedaris films, because I told you I went back and watched a couple of the others, because it's the same cast, same crew, same kind of characters. They're like a poor man's Fast and Furious franchise with 1985 Chevrolet Celebrity station wagons substituted for Camaro Super Sports. And I mean that as a compliment. Believe it or not, I prefer I haven't seen any of the Fast Furious, but I like this shit. It's got heart, and it's got I know their intent, and they did a lot with a little. Well, not in the titty department, but in the money department. Do you guys? I'm guessing you guys like the movie.
Yes.
I thought it was cute. I thought it was fun. I'm not gonna say it was a great film, but it was exactly what I thought it would be, and that's enough for me.
Had you not watched it when you asked me to do it on the show? You just
Never. I knew nothing about it. I saw the trailer. I didn't even recognize that it was this cast because I've seen Malibu Express a couple of times actually. I had no idea that this was part of that universe. So
it is a
it was
universe.
a pleasant surprise to reverse to it.
Like the Marvel universe and like the Fast and Furious universe. This is a universe. If you go back and watch these films, there's about 6 or 7 of them. Same actors. Sometimes they'll have different character names. It doesn't matter. Sometimes they'll be playing different roles. It doesn't matter. But it is a universe that he kind of created. And with these again, you get Estrada plunked into this one. You get, Endo from Lethal Weapon plugged into another one. So, yeah, he did create a little universe there at the end of his career, and I'm glad he did. I had a lot of fun with it.
I did too.
I should mention before we leave that I did watch the Andy Sedaris 1989 movie Savage Beach, which takes place immediately prior to tonight's film, Guns, and it featured a lot of the same same cast members. And overall, it had the same vibe, but I commend Tut on choosing Guns because it was indeed a more enjoyable flick thanks to a healthy dose of Eric Estrada. I think I feel the way about Estrada as you guys did about Shatner on our last show, where just him being there, even though I thought he was sleepwalking through the movie, just him being there gave you guys the comforting, I love Shatner, and that's how I get about Estrada. Like just seeing him on screen makes me happy.
I'm coming over to your camp. I agree with that. I thought like what he did on Cobra was just so zany and swung for the fences and so abnormal to stuff. I've actually seen a couple of clips of him in his telenovela stuff. And I just, when he's on screen, it just makes you happy.
It really does. And unlike Shatner and Land of the Free, I felt like he did something here. I mean, I personally think he's incapable of coming across as unlikable just because he's so entrenched as Paunch. There's a lot of actors like that, though. I mean, I watch a lot of sci-fi, creature features, and John Schneider's in a lot of them. And it's like, you're one of the Duke boys. I grew up with you as that. You'll never be anything other than that. On that same thread, sci-fi movies, there's a guy, what's his name? Yax, you'll know it. Corin Nemec. He's Parker Lewis. Parker Lewis Can't Lose. He's been in a million Lifetime and sci-fi movies of various quality. But to me, he's always Parker Lewis because I liked that show when I was growing up.
Yes.
And when you make that kind of impression as a character to a young audience, as you get older and they get older, you can't help but just kind of see them as that. But I think even if someone just watched this and didn't know who the hell Eric Estrada was, they wouldn't buy him as a villain in this thing.
No.
Nah, probably not.
Well, that's because he was out of his sorts. Like I said, if he had just played it as evil Paunch, so to speak.
Yeah. Which you kind of did.
Happy with villainy, I want you to kill her and you just be happy about it.
Yeah.
Be like, do what you need to do. Fucking kill her.
Yeah. I disagree with Tut. I don't think he should have been in Pulp Fiction. I think that would have been a bad call. But
But you mentioned it nonetheless.
I will give Savage Beach points because, like I said, it had Endo from Lethal Weapon in it, and that was a nice touch. They should have dropped him in here as well. But I will say this. I then watched his directing swan song, 1998, almost a decade later, Return to Savage Beach. And the guy didn't lose a step as far as bullets and boobs. Although there were a few more dudes in Speedos with big dongs flapping around the pool than that was the only movie I saw that in. I could have done without that. That's just me.
Well, when you're enjoying a Sedaris film, have a Schmitzke.
Look, as the host of the Hilarious Offerings Many Other Seek podcast, it just wasn't for me. However, you guys should watch it, especially you, Tut. Return to Savage Beach did feature wrestling superstar Buff Bagwell and some ninjas in a submarine. So we'll probably revisit that at some point on the show, just for those two reasons. And dude, Buff Bagwell is getting it on with all these chicks, like Underwater Falls. Like he's really like taking it seriously. Yeah. So many bare dudes' butt cheeks and bikini brief bulges, but they're accompanied by an underwater topless scuba diving scene in this movie that rocked my fucking nuts off. To be continued. We might not have seen the last of Andy Sedaris on this podcast.
You've sold me.
In full disclosure, none of those guys flapping dongs none of those were from Buff Bagwell.
Okay.
He did kind of strip down and get busy and stuff, but it was Shane from tonight's movie. We get to see his bare ass in Savage Beach. It's just a different
Something
film.
to look forward to.
It's like the Muestra de Saca, the Muestra de Sedaris. There's many flavors of Sedaris that he sprinkles into his films. There's many expressions of Andy Sedaris. And thankfully, Tut tonight picked the one with the least amount of dongs. So good job, Tut.
Yay.
Good job.
Team.
Good job.
Oh, and if we do any of those movies, they would never fit in with the Micro Penis podcast because those guys are pretty well put together. Sorry, Axe.
Why are you telling me?
Take the heat off of me. Those were your silly names at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
If you drink enough, you can change history.
I'm working on it vigorously.
So are a lot of people. It
keeps coming back.
It's been about a week or 10 days since our election. Do we have a president yet?
We do.
We do. We don't. See, no, I guess not. Okay.
We do. We don't. Where are we? Who's what?
We're not. I'll tell you where we are. We're not a political podcast. So
thank God.
We are a Micro Penis podcast, and we thank you guys for joining us in our Micro Penises every other 2 weeks. No. We vetoed that. Sorry. God, stupid. We're going to be doing as many shows as we can leading up to the end of the year. We get a lot of cigars we want to feature. They just keep getting better and better. That's what sucks. Well, sucks and is awesome. So keep tuning in. We're going to keep pumping them out. Tut, speaking of pumping out, pump us out some links.
All right, here we go. Okay, here's your shot. Here's your chance. All right. So if you want to join us on Twitter, you can go to @TNCC Cast. If you want to go to Instagram, see all of the wonderful pictures and the stories that are presented there, you can go to @TNCC_podcast. If you want to follow us on Facebook, you're more than likely will go to Tuesday Night Cigar Club. You can definitely subscribe to, and we highly suggest that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tuesday Night Cigar Club there. If you feel like wanting to do a little shopping, go to TuesdayNightCigarClub.com, click on the Amazon banner, and then do your shopping from there. It helps keep the lights on here. But if you really want to, really want to, then choose Cigars for Warriors as your charity, and then do your shopping, because all that stuff will give a little bit to our men and women overseas, and it's a good charity to do. So actually, that's probably what you should do. You should go to Amazon, make Operation Cigars for Warriors your charity, and then there you go. Yeah. There's something else on our website, though.
Promo code famous.
If you're going to do something from Famous Smoke Shop, you're going to go to TuesdayNightCigarClub.com. You're going to click on that Famous Smoke Shop banner, and then you're going to shop from there. And then it will automatically enter a promo code for you, TNCC20. And if you order $100 or more, it's going to give you 20% off of that. $20. It's a good deal.
Don't be like Tut. Get free shipping by adding a $5 on Cigar Monster. I tell you every time. Insider.
That's a pro tip.
Trade secrets. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We're going to do this as much as we can through the end of the year, like I said. In the meantime, especially since we don't have a president who's playing nice. Yeah. Sore loser. Let's just say it. Let's just call it how it is. TNCC is anti-sore losers. When we lose, we just say, hey, we fucking lost.
No, we just usually just drink our faces off.
Well, he doesn't drink, and that's your first sign that something's wrong with this fucking dude. But when we do lose, you're right. We just drink until we forget about it. And maybe somebody should maybe somebody should make that fat bastard a fucking drink. It makes everything easier. Just party, right, Ted? Just party.
Just party.
You're rich and you got hot chicks all the place. Just party, asshole. And thank you, folks at home, for partying with us. May the wings of liberty never lose a feather. God bless America. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Sayonara, motherfuckers. Take care.
To learn more about the time I went to a Halloween party way back in 1979, dressed up as Officer Frank Poncherella, and my costume was so convincing that I ended up handcuffing a very willing Daisy Duke and took her back to my place. Or was it Marianne from Gilligan's Island? I really need to stop trying to keep up with these boys during the podcast. All this boozing is turning my memory into sour mash. Anywho, what was I doing here? Oh, yeah. To learn more about the cigars enjoyed on tonight's episode, you can visit www.dunbartoncigars.com. For more on O'Brien's Irish Pub, the live music leader in Central Texas, please visit o'brienstemple.com and download their free smartphone app, where you'll find full beer listings including over 40 on tap, menu information, and a calendar of upcoming live events. To listen and purchase music heard on tonight's program, check out www.fritzbeermusic.com. Thank you for listening to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. This is Keith A. Howell saying until next time, friends, unless we see you sooner at the pub. So keep it smoky, and for God's sake, keep it ballsy as well.